Welcome everybody to our latest session of the Restoration of Cariele. If memory serves, I believe this is session 23 now, so 23rd session. As usual, we'll do a quick recap of what occurred last week, and then we will get underway with our session. So team, you'll likely recall, and this will likely be a very short recap because you guys spent the vast majority of the time discussing petitioners, and I have a feeling that you guys will be dealing with those petitioners in this session. So rather than rehash all of the details and then rehash them again, I'm just going to briefly discuss those folks. So yeah, you guys were in the council chambers as you reviewed a lot more of these petitioners and what information you had on them. As far as where you guys left off, I believe you first discussed Faye Cromwell. She was the weaver who was robbed and wants you guys to make her whole. The next one was a bodyguard who's looking to be hired. Then there was an explorer who's looking for finances for an expedition, a juggler who used to work for Thosone's court and wants to be hired here. And then you guys have several private meetings. One of the, or two so far, of the petitioners you guys have chosen to convert to private meetings. That was the hunter who did not want to reveal their identity. And that was the woman who calls herself a procurer of knowledge. And some of you guys suspected that means a long way of saying torturer. So you decided to convert that one to a private meeting as well in order to get maybe some more candid information in that regard. Once you guys were done with your petitioner information, reviewing this, speaking with Lord Tannen and him helping you guys out and kind of, providing a few helpful hints here and there and suggestions, that sort of thing. You guys decided to retire for the night, going back to your rooms that each of you had previously selected after you scoped the new digs out. And each one of you guys kind of picked a room that you thought made the most sense for your individual interests and so forth. And we had our first situation where something occurred at night. Things go bump in the night, you could say. And this started with Vin being woken up in his very luxurious master suite here as he heard the sound of a smack or a bash nearby. He wasn't sure exactly what was going on, grabbed his trusty daggers that were nearby and got closer to the door, tried to listen, was able to hear some more sound. It sounded like somebody pushing through a door or breaking down a door, but trying to do it circumspectly so they're not making a ton of noise. So then Vin decided to hit his chest where a lot of his stuff was contained, grab a shield and sort of exit that room, getting prepared to scope out and see exactly what's going on. During this time, on the other side of this noise, we had Tavern, who was sawing logs in a deep, fitful, restful dream, I'm imagining, because he wasn't waking up for anything. But during this time, Vin exited the room. He was able to see that Serena's room, the door to it was pushed open, and obviously there was some signs of damage as it looked as though this door had been bashed in. As he stepped into the doorway, he spotted a woman standing in the room here, and she was striking down upon Serena, or she did a moments later, as Serena looked to have been tied down to the bed. This individual was dressed in plate armor with a shield and a blade that seemed to, as she swung it, radiate this yellowish light as she struck it down. As Vin engaged and started shouting and hollering, trying to get everybody's attention here, it seemed as though this individual, based on what she was shouting, was indicating that she had located an undead creature and that Serena was that undead creature, and that she was trying to free everybody else from the undead creature's command or influence. And it seemed as though she wasn't listening to any of the very compelling arguments that the rest of the team was making after they would try to hit her and then say, hey, stop fighting. But yeah, so we had Tavern eventually wake up and make his way over to help. We also had Dian, Blixel, and Celine, who are up in the 4th level of the castle here, start making their way down. Dian tried to wake Blixel up. Blixel was awoken. The two of them kind of made their way down at the back side of the castle, so quite a distance away from where all this action was happening. Poor Celine was all turned around from where she is in this new place, probably her nose in a book the whole time. She don't remember the layout of the castle all that great, and kind of went the wrong direction before finally making her way down the stairs, and turned out that that was right where the action was. So yeah, the team fully converged here and fighting against this armored knight kind of woman, eventually was able to defeat her. During the battle, Serena was struck down and badly wounded, but somehow persevered as she was able to pull through with enough energy to transform into a ghostly ethereal presence and slip out through the shutters here in the room and sort of hang out on the roof while the rest of the team made short work of this armored knight. Once she was certain that there was no other issues occurring down below or no more fighting, she had enough time left in that form to emerge back into the room, pop up onto the bed, and reform into her normal form as she looked at the team, obviously very badly wounded at this point and probably really curious what in the world is going on here. So, team, that is my super quick recap of what occurred last week. Anybody have anything they would like to add that I missed?
Yeah, I took the rod with intentions during that long rest to attune to it, or try to at least, and not sure how that fared out in the middle of our awakening, or whether we even still get a long rest or not. But I just wanted to add that in there.
Sure thing. Yes. Go ahead and give us a little bit more details on the rod, and then that will certainly be inspiration worthy.
Oh, the rod. We got it from the guy who set the beast in the. Okay, it's God, what's his name? The old guy. He gave us the rod because we helped him and his apprentice who kind of messed up the sewers with an experiment, and we're just unsure who can attune to it. So I thought I'd just grab it and I would try it. It's like a rod of tentacles, is what it's described as.
Yes, indeed. Go take inspiration for that. The individual you're referring to is Old Mister, whose wand shop or magic shop here in town is the one you guys visited, and in fact is an individual who Vin has requested to become a petitioner and arrive at the castle to have a conversation with him. Though obviously that is pretty short notice. We'll see if Old Mister is showing up tomorrow or not. But yeah, good addition there. Anybody else have anything to add?
One thing, what you guys think about it. I have 2 already. Can I give it to Serena for not being there and getting beat up a lot?
Sure thing.
Okay, Serena, you get an inspiration.
Thanks.
I just wanted to add that the lady that was striking Serena was, she claimed that she was in the name of Kurikane? Kuresurain? How do you say it?
It's always the hardest one to pronounce in this world, so don't feel bad. It's Kureakin.
Kureakin. So we need to look into that deity because I think that's a new one that's popped into our game here.
Yes, good addition as well. She did indeed shout in the name of Kureakin as she was striking down. Go ahead and take inspiration for that as well, Vin. All right, I'm not hearing anything else from the team, so let's go ahead and send out a card to everybody, and then we will get started. Okay, there's everybody's card. Take a moment to review it. If any questions, obviously let me know. And feel free to just message me if that's something you're not sure how it works, and then we will decide or discuss that way. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get everybody back into the castle map, as it is still late at night, the battle having just wrapped up.
The wild spirit will walk in and kind of smell at the lady who was down, and then just curiously sit there and then walk up to Serena and give her a headbutt and sit next to her.
Serena
She
coughs up
knocked out.
blood.
How did this person get in here? My worry also is that we killed her. Who's going to be upset that they're dead?
Don't feel bad about that. She tied Serena to bed and was attacking her. She dies, right? Is that?
Justification for her death is fine, but that still doesn't mean that somebody won't be angered. Celine, are you sure she's dead? I'm not good at this.
You're the one who did the medicine check, but I don't know if the dungeon master
Yeah,
will let me
It said it was
do
good.
it again.
Yeah, but I also stabbed her, so it's not my strong suit.
Can we at least get her sword out of the way? That, by the way, lights up when you swing it, and that
I think
plate
we
looks
kicked it
pretty
under the
nice.
bed or something like that, but just in case, yeah.
Yeah, that plate looks pretty nice too.
Well, how about we get this out of Serena's bedroom? Let's pull her into mine? It's a bit larger.
There's plenty of rooms for her to choose from.
All right, as you guys are discussing amongst yourselves the next steps, you hear a commotion from down the hallway. Dean, from where you're standing, you hear the sound of footsteps coming from your west. It sounds as though this is very quick movement, and you hear the sound of metal, like armor, rattling.
We're over here.
Thank
Over
you.
here.
Don't let anyone get any closer. Closed
Right.
investigation.
Right here. Guards? Are you the guards?
You notice the person in the lead looks towards you and says, "Drop your weapons! Get down! Get down!"
Oh my God. The count is fine.
Who the hell are these
Everything
people?
is fine. Look, there he is.
Thanks,
Pretty
guys.
late to the party, you guys.
You notice the one in the back is holding up a torch. You can see all of them have spears in hand and shields readied as they're looking at you. You notice the one in the front kind of looks at you guys as you guys are talking, and then he looks back and he looks back. Is that the new guy? And you notice the one in the back's like, what's your name then?
I'm gonna step in front of Dean out into the hallway, and I'm gonna kind of sigh and say, well, we can talk about your tardiness later. I am Viorvin Gladanil, Count of Cariele. I'm the new guy, as you so lovingly referenced.
Oh, well, we heard a bunch of commotion, but yeah, we got here as quick as we could. Is everything okay, my lord?
Everything is fine. Someone infiltrated the castle, but it appears that they've taken off after we've fought them. Where were you posted?
Oh, I was patrolling on the first floor, making the rounds, and Glenn back there, he was with me, 2 by 2,
2 by 2, I see.
Do
been
you
busy
need
in
us
the
to help
castle
you in
tonight.
anything? Do we need to take out any ruffians?
No, but how about tonight you include the 3rd and 4th floor in your patrols, please?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll let the captain know that. But usually, well, the last guy, he said he didn't like seeing the guards up here.
Well, the last guy is gone.
Right. Okay, I'll tell the captain, and I'm sure he can make some changes to the schedule.
Just 1 by 1 patrols up the floors every hour or so. When people are supposed to be sleeping and people are roaming the halls, we should know about it.
You notice the guy like that's in the 3rd spot is kind of eyeing you suspiciously. The guy in the back with the torch held high here to cast light is just standing there stoically, doesn't seem to have much of an expression on his face. You notice the second guy, who seems to be mostly engaging you in conversation here, nods again. Okay, but can we see what is back there? Because we want to make sure, doing our jobs and all that, Lord, right? Got to make sure that no one's back there with a sword behind you and like, hey, say these words and stuff, right?
No.
Go ahead and give me a blind check, then.
Let me pull out my character sheet. I had the domain character sheet out. Hang on.
Definitely don't want a blind check as Cariele.
Nope. I got it. I might as well use it, Adam. I'll just throw my inspiration on this check. I'll go ahead and click the button and then blind check for you.
You notice the one in the front kind of looks back at the one in second, and you see the guy in the second kind of scratches the back of his neck for a moment. Okay. So let's fellas, let's go talk to the captain, and we'll tell him there was a disturbance up here on the 3rd floor, and that the new guy wants us to do patrols up here. I'm sure the captain will have more instructions for us. And you notice the guards, the third one kind of looks and says, "Really? That's really what we're doing?" Yeah. Come on. Let's go. And he looks back.
I'm gonna put my hand up and I'm gonna look towards the third one and I'm gonna say, do you have something to say?
You see, he kind of like looks at you, and it I gotta say, it just
Speak
seems
up,
really
soldier.
strange that, you guys, we heard shouting, right? And it was, help, we're under attack. And we get up here, then you tell us to turn around and go away. I knew a guy once who used this like magic stuff, or that's what he told me anyway, and he could make himself look like somebody else. And I'm just wondering, is that maybe what's going on here?
Come with me. What's your name, soldier?
Arthur?
Dean, step back. Come on, Arthur. You coming?
You know, he steps slowly as he's kind of like scanning around, very carefully, shield still in hand, spear in hand. And yeah, you can see him kind of scoping the area.
We don't need your help because we've taken care of the intruder.
Oh, that one there.
That's not the intruder, sir. Open the
Where's
door.
the intruder? Upstairs?
I'll open the door and I'll say, come inside. We'll show you. You could tell us if you've seen this person.
You see he steps inside and kind of notices all of you. You see his eyes go to this flaming spirit in the corner, and he just kind of, this one here, and you see he points down to the woman crumpled in the corner.
That one there broke down my bodyguard's door, attacked her after binding her to the bed. We were able to subdue her. You're so curious and you want to know everything. Tell me, have you seen this woman?
I have actually, yes, I have. What was her name? It was M. It started with an M. Minnie. It was something like Minnie. Yeah.
I see. And Minnie is allowed to roam the castle hallways?
He shakes his head. No. I have to tell you, my lord, I'm sorry to say, but I think I know what has happened here. And you see his eyes keep going over to the flaming spirit as though he's nervous to be even this close to it.
The flaming spirit lion kind of gets in a standing position and stares at him in his eyes.
You have no concern over the spirit. Dean, can you dismiss it?
No, and I'll say, and he'll come out to the hallway with me.
You notice the guard like jumps out of the way as he starts making over and hits against the wall, like making sure the fire does not touch him.
And when he does that, I'm going to shut the door behind him and say, all right, Arthur, so if you were 2x2 patrolling, then could you explain to me how this person was roaming the hallways, made it up to the 3rd floor, bound one of my friends to the bed, and proceeded to stab her?
You notice he kind of pulls himself up once again and brushes himself off here. I think I know. Well, at least I know part of it, my lord. Do you know Sybil?
I'll look over to Celine. Do we know Sybil?
Do we?
The
don't think
name
that's the
doesn't
name.
immediately ring a bell, no.
I shake my head.
First day on the job, Arthur. Haven't met everyone. Who is this person?
You notice he nods, and he seems like he's actually like relaxing a bit at this point. You notice he's a little bit more calm, especially with the door shut and the flaming beast outside. Yeah, yes. She's an older woman. Her name Sybil, Miss Splitter, and believe it or not, she used to be a mason. That's a pretty rare profession for a woman, but yeah. So nowadays she kind of helps out in the kitchens here. Usually she kind of just keeps the cook and the chefs and stuff just company and talks, and occasionally will help like deliver a tray of food, that sort of thing. But generally she's just kind of there. She's a lonely or older woman, never was married, so she's bored. But you see, her and Minnie are pretty good friends. You see, because Sybil is she's kind of trying to think what's the right word to use. You know those people when they're like really into a religion and it like kind of takes them over?
Yes, we're aware of a few of them, but continue.
Well, that's kind of how Sybil is. Like every other word out of her mouth is Kureakin this and Kureakin that, and the justice of Kureakin will be delivered, and such and so forth. And well, you see, Minnie here, she hasn't been around for a long time, maybe a month or two, but well, those two naturally seem to hit it off because I think this Minnie is like also in that same religion, and the two of them would talk all the time, and well, Minnie here always was saying that she feels evil lurked around, and she was always on the hunt for evil. And well, Sybil just kind of ate that right up, and they would just kind of walk together, and they would, I don't want to say interrogate, but they almost like looked at people and asked them questions and things, and most people didn't really pay them much mind. There was never any violence or anything like that. But a couple of times we did have to come over and have a talk with Minnie and Sybil and say, calm down, you're not in the guards, you're not allowed to hold people out, that kind of thing, my lord.
Seems they're taking their religious work to a new level, sending people in to attack others. Not quite sure why they chose this one, but either way, Arthur, your inquisitive nature led you to be in front of the new council. Introduce yourself.
Oh, Arthur. Family name is Black, Arthur Black. I've been a guard here for, about 4 years now. And, well, my father, he was a carpenter, but I didn't really want to do that trade. I hope that's good enough, my lord.
I look at everyone. Is that fine for y'all?
We need to double the guards around here.
Who's your captain, Arthur?
Oh, you're talking about Captain Francis.
I look over at Saline. Is this the same guy that we've heard about in the petitioners?
Let me pull up my notes. Here somewhere. Yes, Francis Riddingham. We heard
Arthur nods.
The name has crossed our desk a few times.
And the petitioner who wishes to see us about his state, Captain... What was her name?
I don't think she's a captain, but she is Emmeline Cleaves.
Are you familiar with this person, Arthur?
Yes, Lord. I've spoken with Emmeline before. Good lass.
And how do you feel about how your captain is running things? You can speak freely here.
Ooh, I don't ever want to speak badly about anybody, my lord, but, well, I think it's probably fair to say that Captain Francis's best days are behind him.
And is this common thought amongst the guardsmen?
I don't want to speak for everybody. I don't think that would be all that fair, but a lot of the people I talk to and the kind of the guards that I, on patrol with, they all kind of seem to have the same sense, yes.
Okay. Well,
Shall I take her down to the dungeons?
She's probably dead, Arthur.
Oh, do you want me to call the guy that comes in and takes the bodies out then?
Not necessarily.
No, just kidding.
See, Arthur, why we were trying to be restrictive with you and the rest of your companions, well, because we wanted to know more about why they attacked us. You've given us a bit of information.
I don't suppose that any of you, your friends here, Lord, are like, maybe you are real big believers in a religion that's against Kureakin?
I don't think any of us have any problem with the religion itself, but we do have a problem if they send its champions to kill us. Wouldn't you?
He nods. Oh, well, of course, but I'm trying to figure out why. Because, like I said, Minnie was always, well, she was very, I don't want to say aggressive, but you get the sense. She wasn't, she was no like, wilting violet or anything like that. She spoke her mind, and she would just go up to people and tell them things and kind of expect them to do what she said. And then if they didn't, she would get a little bit angry and say why they should do what she said. She never really attacked anybody, though, so it just seems kind of strange that she would just all of a sudden do this.
That's exactly what we're thinking. And I'd like to know, since we're on the subject, more about this Sybil. And we can't have that information about this Sybil if she's upset about her little best friend being killed, now can we, Arthur? If we're to get to the bottom of this, we're going to need you to be quiet for a day or two while we figure some things out. Can we trust you with that?
Yes, of course. Don't not say anything to anybody, or just not to her. I mean, do you want me to report this to the captain, or not even tell the captain?
Arthur, I brought you back here because you, unlike your companions, seem to show a bit of eagerness and smarts, capability. You saw right through my very calm, easy deception. What I would like from you is to just stay calm and quiet for a day or two amongst your comrades outside. Tell them we gave you a description of the person. You can describe to them this mini person. Tell them she escaped. She's somewhere on the grounds. No need to investigate because we saw her take off. But we need to figure out more about why this person was sent here and why they're attacking us, and we can't do that if everybody's being alerted to what happened here.
Okay, so, so you want me to tell them that she fled, but we're not supposed to try to track her down? Okay, I can try that, but I gotta tell you, I think some of them are gonna want to try to track her down because they're gonna feel like they dropped the ball here. They didn't do their job.
Just tell them that you heard some shouting and you found out it was a dwarf having a bad dream. They'll believe it.
You see, he kind of looks over towards you like cockeyed Tavern. Actually, they probably would believe that.
Yeah, I've had a few drinks and dreams happen. You know what I'm saying? You've been to the bars and had dwarves around. You know how it can get.
Give me a blind check, Tavern.
Yeah, because intimidation and all that other neat stuff are my best traits.
You notice he looks at you as you're saying this, and he kind of nods slowly. Yeah, okay. I'll see. I'll tell him that.
Yeah, I'm not. If I had a shiny penny, I'd give you one right now. So just go with it, and maybe you may see yourself get promoted someday. Who knows? Who knows?
You can tell them whatever story you like, really, Arthur. Tell them that the new count fought them off and the person fled before anybody could make any check about it, and while we're sitting here talking, they got even further away or some bullshit like that. But either way, we'd like for you to not inform everybody that there's a dead body right here as we investigate as to why they tried to kill us. But we would like the name of the person that does clean them up, so afterwards we can have it disposed of properly.
Oh, well, it's kind of a running joke around here, but his name is actually Graves.
I see. All right, Arthur. Well, look, as the new Count of Cariele, I'm hoping I can trust you with this small favor to just be quiet for a few days about this, and it will return in favor. Trust me.
He nods a little bit, and then you see he looks back at Tavern. Okay, Lord, what I'll tell him, because I think this is probably the most believable, is that, that, being new to the castle and all that, one of you guys had a companion to spend the night with you, and things got a little bit rambunctious, and there was some shouting and yelling and stuff, but no one was really ever in danger, and everything's calmed down now. That happens way more often than you would imagine.
That sounds feasible. And I look over at Blixel.
Hey. Yeah, sure.
All right. I'll get out there and I'll tell him then. Well, it was a pleasure to serve you, Lord, and well, I hope everything gets cleared up. Do I have your leave to take my leave?
Feel free.
He nods. You see, he opens the door, and once again, a little bit startled as he sees the flaming lion, and kind of steps out, but he keeps his back as close to the wall as he can. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me.
And the lion's laying on the stairs, licking its paws. But when he comes by, he goes, reaches his nose to smell him a little bit as he walks by.
Arthur seems to have a little bit more pep in his step as he makes his way away. Come on, everybody. Yes, I'll tell you all. Let's just get back to the barracks.
Adam, can I make just a general insight check real quick? Does it feel like I could trust Arthur?
Ooh, that's pretty broad and general. I will give you you can make an insight check. I won't say it's like whether you can trust him. I can say whether you detected anything beyond what he was saying.
Sure, that sounds fair.
I will say that you got the impression from speaking with him that he seems to be more intelligent than what you would expect from your average guard. Probably more well-spoken. I mean, everything about him does not strike you as average guard, but from his interaction with you and with the team, you get the impression that he's just trying to do a good job and that he will take care of things here as he can.
Good lad, that Arthur.
And I'm just gonna say that, the way she acted and everything, I really don't actually expect that she was evil, to be honest with you. I think she just thought she was protecting the world from, well, our friend here, Celine. Let's be honest. I mean, excuse me, Serena. Let's be honest.
That's true. Although she did not have the right to strike anybody, and she was not supposed to be here.
Oh, I'm
That
not saying
means-
she's not a zealot. I'm just saying that I don't think it was.
Zealot.
I don't.
That's the
think she
word
was-
I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't think she was trying to assassinate you. I think she thought she was doing some, good deed because, Serena's a little different.
Well, they do say no good deed goes unpunished, I suppose.
I can't thank you all enough for saving my life.
Yeah, we got you.
I have to say, my liege, I'm very concerned that my presence is putting you in danger.
It's nothing to be worried about, Serena. This seems to be just a religious, as Travad put it, zealot. Seems that this Sybil person maybe tries to be a bit of a sheriff. We'll have to speak to him, put an end to it, and perhaps we can make a decree about using spells in the castle.
Perhaps I should keep a distance until I get to the bottom of how I ended up like this.
Well, it's your call of ultimately what you decide to do, Serena. But we wish not to replace you or have you dismissed in any way. You're just as much a part of this as any of us are.
I think she means finding a room on the roof or something that's a little further away.
Yeah, I'm not
Sure.
staying here again tonight.
Yeah,
Do you
well,
wa- do you want some
there's plenty
healing?
of free bedrooms. Yeah, choose whichever one you want.
Yeah, this one's a little soiled.
Do you
Yeah.
want any healing right now, Serena? You look pretty beat up.
Serena's a blood clot comes out of her nose at that moment. I mean, sure, if you don't mind.
Okay, so cure wounds, second level, it's 13 healing.
And Serena, if you want to find out how you ended up this way, what better companions than us to help you? We can figure it out, and we have better resources now to look into it.
Thank you for your friendship.
We got to be worried about this Sybil person.
Yes, I guess we need to start a list of, I guess, not enemies or allies, but people to be wary of, I suppose.
No, she's an enemy, for sure.
So put her on the same list as Miele then. But if she's
We
working in
don't
our
know.
kitchens,
We don't know she's an enemy.
She is to me.
This lady snuck into our castle and almost killed Serena.
We don't understand the intent. I mean, you just, what is this,
Oh,
first
my
night you've been
goodness.
here? They haven't met you yet. Maybe they think that there was an evil spirit in your, near your room. She didn't go after you.
She went after my friend. She was stabbing her.
I'm not saying her actions were justified. I'm saying she feels her actions were justified. And we're already assuming that an old lady who, by the way, is a Mason, who I fully feel she's probably a good Mason because, but, you're now all of a sudden accusing an old lady who's been serving this castle for a while now and everything that she's evil too.
well,
I
let's not be
I
rash
didn't
here.
say
you
evil.
I'm not the
I
one
s-
being rash. This is what you guys are saying.
I'm
I didn't-
concerned with
Hang on.
anybody that lets people into this castle to do harm.
The issue at hand is that her actions were not justifiable based on her just purely trying to kill someone, Tavad, and I know you agree with that. And the issue is that although she may have thought that what she was doing was right, you cannot use that as reason to just kill people, and we cannot have that stand in our city. We can also not looking at Blixel now, not just cast the word evil upon anyone.
I never
Right.
said evil. I never said evil. I
All
said
right. Well,
enemy.
fair, evil, enemy, whatever. But at the end of the day, we have to get to the bottom of what Sybil was doing and why she felt the need to send a literal holy assassin towards Serena.
Well,
So she
we all
sent the
know why.
assassin.
We don't know that, but I'm guessing she'll know that this lady came here at the very least. So we
Maybe
know why.
something
Serena
to
has to
do with
stay.
my quote unquote life.
Yeah.
Your ailment. We'll call it an ailment.
Sure.
Thanks.
Either way, it's too late to be arguing. We've got a full day of meetings tomorrow, and now we've got another thing that we need to worry about, and we don't need fighting amongst our group. Serena, we have your back, of course. Maybe find a new bedroom for the night. Your bed sheets have blood on them.
Most of it. Maybe we should do a buddy system. Anybody want to bunk up? How long can this lion hang out with me?
The lion will walk over to you and headbutt you on your knee, like a little harder than he expected, and kind of knock you off balance a little bit. We'll sit next to you, and I'll say, his name is Fork.
Fork, like the utensil?
I don't know, but his name's Fork. Is that what you call? Oh, I see. Yes, like the utensil.
Okay. Hi, Fork.
I guess you've never played Baldur's Gate 3.
Does somebody want to see if she's got a note to assassinate or something? Maybe with a picture or something. I mean, maybe she's got something on her body.
Well, yeah, we should take her.
I'll run her pockets at him.
Take her equipment, right? We don't want to say take her clothes off, but we want to take her equipment at them, and we want to search through her pockets.
Yeah, I'll give it a good once over. Does she have any? I guess first of all, I would look for any flat out notes or anything along those lines, and then coin purses and valuables, and then take off her armor.
All right, go ahead and give me a blind check here, Ben.
I would do it, but I got fat dwarven fingers. They're not as nimble.
Believe it or not, investigation is not one of Ven's greatest skills.
You do see that in addition to her armor and her blade, she has some regular, what you'd assume to be almost similar to adventuring gear. So she's got like a satchel at her side. There's water skin inside. You see there are some trail rations. She's got rope at her side. You also notice around her neck, you can see there's a necklace. As you pull this out, you see that there is in like a pewter almost kind of material. You can see there is the symbol of Cerilia, which is a lightning bolt with a sword atop it. And I'm sure Celine would be familiar with this, and even those of you guys that aren't necessarily experts in religion probably would recognize at least this symbol. In addition to that, she does have a coin purse. Inside, you find that there are 12 gold pieces and 7 silver pieces.
She's not going to be needing these. What is it? Plate armor and like a long sword, Adam?
Yep, she has plate armor. She was wearing wearing plate armor. She has a shield and a long sword.
Well, I will take the long sword and her plate armor and stuff, and for now, and I'll just take it back into my room here and put it into my chest that I got here.
Okay.
And then I'll look around and say, all right, well, we probably shouldn't leave the body here. Maybe a room up on the 3rd floor.
Given the cover story, these bed sheets are gonna need a lot of explaining.
Or prestidigitationing.
Just burn them.
I
We
don't
got a
have any of
fireplace.
those spells. We'll just take those off and stuff them in one of those chests. But I'll go ahead.
There you go.
Can that clean
You're
the
not just a
blood?
pretty face.
You certainly can. I would say, yeah. So you cast this spell, and yeah, the cleaning starts.
I'll motion for Fork to go into Serena's room, and at the door I'll say, he'll be with you about another 45 minutes, and then by then you should be able to settle and have a good night's sleep. You'll be safe.
Then I fend for myself. Thanks, Fork.
You're welcome.
You can sleep in my bed if you want to. Just be aware I sleep with my swords in my hands.
That does not sound safer.
And he flails. He has a tendency to flail. And he breaks chairs to light fires. Adam, I'm going to take the body upstairs.
All right, where would you like to take it to?
Is there a closet up here? That's somebody's room.
I don't believe you have encountered any closets yet.
I mean, that guard was saying that there was a guy that comes for the bodies. Is that too much of a security breach?
I'm going to just lay the body on this bed for now.
All right, so as far as the imagery here, the body has clothes on it, but you strip the armor, weapons, all of that stuff, and then you're just laying the body on the bed.
Yep,
Okay.
That's it. Back. And I'm guessing by everybody scattering that it's back to bed.
It's bedtime. Hey, let me know if that sword is special or something like that. It was glowing.
That I will do. It's in that chest in Vin's room, along with her book bag and stuff. And I guess I probably gave the holy symbol to Celine, because she's probably going to know more about it than anyone else, or that's what Vin believes.
All right, so you each split up and head to your different rooms. Is it safe to assume, for those of you that haven't closed your bedroom door, that is your intent?
Correct.
Now you say. No, Lixel will shut all the doors leading to his room.
All of them.
All right.
Bunch of chair under the handle of mine.
Yeah, I'm locking the doors. Patio, front door, back door, side door.
Okay. And your intent now is for everybody just to go to sleep and wake up in the morning, I assume, right?
And I would like to,
Yep.
at some point during this long rest, or early in the morning, attempt to attune to the Rod of Tentacles.
Okay. Let me double check the attunement rules. For some reason, I was thinking this was done during a short rest. Yes. So attuning to an item requires a creature to spend a short rest focused on only that item while being in physical contact with it. So you've got a short rest tonight. If you want to do that first before you wake up in the morning, then obviously you'll get it back.
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to attune to the item without any issue. Okay, so as each of you has gone to sleep, Vin, why don't you go and roll me a d4, please?
Oh man.
You actually failed the mucking medicine check. She's still alive, my dude.
She's
I
gonna
told you to
wind up
check her.
She's gonna
Oh,
wind up
was it
having
me or
good.
Tavard?
Huh?
I don't know what Tavard was rolling for, but yeah, I said Vin.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I rolled before you did that on. I was trying to be funny on how many minutes it took me to get back to sleep, but
Oh,
you know, then
okay.
you asked for the one before, and I was like, wow, what a coincidence. But yeah, somebody said they tried to cast spare the dying and it didn't work. So you know,
I don't think it didn't work. It just we didn't know if it worked.
I think Vin rolled a medicine check to see if she was dead after I did that, and he must have fucked it up real bad because we were told that she was dead.
All right, guys. So the night passes by without any further event. The morning comes, and let's go ahead and start with Vin. So, Vin, you wake up here early in the morning, sun coming down through the opening here as it's early, maybe 7 a.m., that sort of thing. So, through your shutters, you can see light starts to fill up your room.
do we get a long rest, Adam?
You do indeed. Yes, I'll go ahead and apply that.
Nice. Finn, who is butt naked, will spend the appropriate amount of time putting on armor and whatnot,
Wait,
and suiting up for the day.
were you naked the whole time?
Nope. I was in clothes when I first got attacked, but then after he full on battle, he was like, fuck it, and took everything off and just went to bed.
I see.
Locking tokens for just a moment because I have to be able to select all of you. If anybody moves, it breaks it. So, just one moment.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
It's all your fault, though.
Stop sleepwalking.
Alrighty, there we go. All of you guys have the long rest applied now. So yeah, you wake up, you start reattiring yourself, and what else, Finn?
I guess I will go out on my patio and I'll like overlook because I know like there's supposed to be a giveaway today. I'm gonna see if people have already started arriving.
So as a reminder, you're in the castle grounds right now, so you would have to look a pretty good distance out to your east, about 130 feet or so, before you would see the front gate. As you look that direction, you can see that there's like a half wall and then the open gate. You don't see anybody standing right in front of the gate part, but you're not sure if there's anybody like on the wall side.
All right, thinking he's got a bit of a second to breathe. He's gonna go outside now that he's fully geared up. Oh, shut the door on himself. He'll go get his bodyguards. He'll knock on Serena's door.
All right, knocking on Serena's door. I don't know, do we hear a response, Serena? Are you awake yet or still recovering?
Hopefully, I'm recovered.
Hey Adam, can you remind me hero points and long rest? Does that recharge? I can't remember.
It does, yes.
I'm gonna look at her and say, "Good morning. You're looking better today."
Indeed.
Rouse Tavard. I'll go get the rest of the losers upstairs. And I'm gonna go check on my buddies. I'll knock on Celine's door. I think this is her door.
All right, let's pause there for a moment. So as you rouse Tavard, give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh man.
Outstanding. Hold on.
Dude.
That's a 10 when you add them both together, Adam.
So, you are still not feeling good. After that dip you took into the sewers, this illness seems to really be sticking with you. As an FYI, notice your weariness was reset, so you actually have 2 weariness now.
Okay, I thought that it went away at nighttime. So
Unfortunately, not when you have a disease like this one.
I'm a dwarf. I'm immune to disease in this world.
Not this one, unfortunately.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, this illness essentially has gotten worse. Think of this as you have like cramps, you have like a sour stomach, sour taste in your mouth, just not feeling great at all.
All right, we're gonna take care of something. We're gonna have to take care of that. Shut up!
Go away, Mom.
All right.
Time to get up.
Yeah, so you are awoken then, Tavard, feeling not so well as Serena is making the rounds, waking you up. Vin, you make your way upstairs, knock on Celine's door. Celine, I assume you're awake about this time as well.
Serena was knocking on the wrong door, then Trevor comes out of a nearby door. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Get my stuff together and then
Newcastle. Who dis?
move the chair out of position.
Do you have a chair? Come on, scaredy cat.
Fear seems justified in this scenario.
The other 2 are awake downstairs. I'm going to go check on something. This is Deanne's door to the north, I'm pretty sure. Oh shit, that door is open already.
You
Okay.
notice as you enter this room, Vin, the corpse that you left on the bed without any restraints or anything like that is not there any longer.
Crap.
I didn't restrain her because I thought she was dead, so I move a little bit more quickly and I knock on Deanne's door. Deanne! Deanne!
But I'm right here. I'm up. Where are you?
I think this is your door.
You might
Right.
have the wrong door.
I love
Open it.
how
Oh,
you're
there.
communicating, but you're not even sure if you're close by.
You have a big room here. Hey, come here, look.
I'm playing my card.
That body is not here.
All right, playing your card. Okay. All right. So
Does
this
it
is
take away
the.
disease?
It does not. This is the. Where'd it come from? A random creature arrives on the scene. So, Serena, from where you're at here, you're standing in this hallway, and you're noticing some of your companions kind of starting to get up, and you're waking them and so forth. You notice suddenly in the shutter to your south, as you're standing in that hallway there, you see that there is a yellowish bird that suddenly lands in the shutter. Looking towards this bird, you can see it has this really elegant looking crest on its back, up near its head. You can see these very long yellow feathers, and it has strangely kind of red beady like eyes. As it lands here in the shutter, you see it seems to almost be looking at you, but it's always moving. Little hops here, little stretches of the wings. It seems to be eyeing in your direction.
Look, guys. Somebody with a spell. Stun that sucker.
Which way is she pointing?
It's lean.
Which way is she pointing?
To the south.
See it, Saline? Hit it. Hit it.
Do I
He's
see
looking
it?
at me funny.
As you look to the south, you can see in the shutter here this bird. It looks to be about the size maybe of a very large robin, sitting in the shutter here, just kind of, again, moving quite a bit, looking in your direction.
Does it look like it's moving unnaturally, or is it just like animal movement?
Give me a blind check.
Its eyes are red and beady. What more information do you need?
It looks a bit unnatural, Saline. Something doesn't quite line up here. You're not familiar with any kind of birds that match this description, and boy, you know almost all of them based on that check. But yeah, this doesn't ring a bell to you at all.
Blixel, get it. You're quick.
What the heck are you guys yelling about down here?
Look at this shady bird.
Oh yeah, that's a bird, all right.
Blixel, as you're approaching, and there's starting to be a few more people here in this hallway, go ahead and throw me a blind check. Not necessarily thinking there's really any need for being quiet or being undetected here. You kind of just, maybe still stretching out the sleepies, that sort of thing. Make your way here, bounce a little bit into this pillar that is holding up the next floor, and there's a little bit of loud thump sound that echoes out. As this occurs, you notice the bird jumps off the hanging area here and dives down out of your line of vision.
Oh my god, you guys are so slow.
What
I
do you
need a
mean slow?
bathroom.
We just woke up.
Yeah, well,
Feeling good.
that could be a spy.
That sewer water isn't doing too well with me. I need to go get some help. Ugh.
If it's a
Oi.
spy, you better go chase after it, Serena.
What are you
We
guys
need-
talking about?
There's a shady bird spying on us. And
Well, you
I think
should-
it's a grave breach of security. Also, Tavard really needs a cleric. So.
A bird.
Forget the bird. The fucking body is missing of Minnie, whatever
What?
her name is. Yeah, it's gone. It's not in the room. I went to wake Dean up and it was gone.
I thought you said she was dead. I trusted you, Vin.
How
Maybe
am I
we should-
supposed to know? She seemed dead.
Maybe we should
stabbed
check
her.
with the guards first. Make sure they didn't take her.
And I didn't
maybe.
know you were going to put her body next to my room.
Well, I kind of forgot it was beside yours, to be honest. The label's on the other side.
We need to label. We need to label these rooms. It's my
That's
idea.
what I'm saying.
You've got a south and a north entrance, Dean. What do you want me to do?
Where's this
Either
bird?
way, she's gone. We should see if Sybil's in the fucking kitchen. What are you talking about, shady bird?
No, where's this bird? You know, I could. Yeah, I'm particularly interested in birds and wildlife, right?
It swooped down after I bumped something, like a bird would do.
It had red beady eyes.
Oh my god, it did. You lucky.
And I don't care. Dean, I need to talk to your friend about your herbalism friend there about getting something for sewer water sickness.
Tavard, you look like
I
bad.
look almost as blue as you, dude. This is not good.
Well, here.
I always thought you guys were the same color.
Avani's got
Not
you
according
covered.
to this AI.
Avani has you covered, Tavard. Don't fret. Blixel rubs his hands together, Mr. Miyagi style, and lays them upon Tavard, and uses 5 points of lay on hands to cure a disease.
Okay, Tavard, your disease is wiped clean. You no longer have this illness, but you do still have your 2 levels of weariness.
Doesn't matter. My rolls are usually wonderful anyway, so I don't think it will hurt too much. Wow, that felt pretty good.
Yeah, I tried to do it to you before when I saw you coughing up that sewer water, but you said you were fine.
I'm a dwarf. I'm always fine.
Okay.
Any significance to you cupping his bottom while you did that?
Made
You
me
know,
feel better, so whatever.
a master never tells his secrets. And he winks at Vin.
It's just odd looking at it from down the staircase angle.
Well, it's not a spectator sport here. I'm healing people, Vin. You know what I mean? All right.
Thumbs
Um,
up.
all right, so we had an assassin last night and a bird this morning. What else is gonna happen, guys? All right.
We should probably find the Sybil, talk to her, because I would assume this Minnie went back to speak to her.
Bookstill's gonna try to go to the window out here and see if he can see the bird anywhere.
Give me a blind check, Blixel. No. You get down to the second floor and look out through the south windows there, looking for any sign of the bird, but you do not see it.
Next time I see that thing, I'm throwing a javelin.
Can you imagine somebody outside just walking, doing a little morning patrol, and then they see somebody throw a javelin out one of the castle windows at a bird? That would.
A bird the size of a robin.
It was looking at me weird. Alright, that's funny. Alright, Vin's going to go, and he remembers somebody
I'm a
saying
little
that she
comfy.
works in the kitchen. So he's going to see if he can find the kitchens.
All right, so rather than make you guys navigate the castle map here, as this is more for like, tactical situations, I'm going to go ahead and move you guys over to the Carolinian map. All right, and so what your intent here is to make your way through the castle and find yourself into the kitchens. Rest of the team, are you all following Vin as he goes on this little excursion?
Yeah, I'm up for eating now.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm up for punishing.
Okay.
Blixel's gonna go to if he sees any guards around and try to find out if they have any leads on the person that escaped from the castle last night.
Okay, go ahead and give me a blind check, Blixel. You certainly find guards and you start conversing with them and trying to piece some context together and so forth.
But remember, the final story was different than somebody left. We told
That
them
is correct.
that we were
And
roughhousing, so that's going to cause confusion.
as you say this, Blixel, you notice the guards kind of look at you a little bit strangely. You first kind of, just chat with them in casual conversation, try to build like a little bit of a rapport before you build this question out. So at first they're again a little bit suspicious of you. You don't look like anybody around here, so you're very used to this at this point, where everybody just kind of gives you an extra set of eyes. But eventually, after kind of getting them to open up, calm down a little bit, one of the guards looks at you and shakes his head and he says, "Oh, no, it was nothing. If you heard all that racket last night, believe it or not, it was just, one of these new counselor people got kind of frisky with a woman and things got a little bit out of hand. The things being broke and some punches thrown, that kind of thing."
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard shouting and I thought there was like an intruder or something.
No, you wouldn't believe some of the crazy stories we hear. We had a noble one time who loved to have his ladies just scream down about him. It was the weirdest things.
Interesting. What was his name?
Oh, what was his name? I can't even remember, if I'm being honest. It was one of the big ones, the portly ones, the guy with the big belly.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, keep up the good work. Are you guys gonna try to keep the peace? That's a big giveaway today.
Well, we're trying to do what we can, but, there's only so many of us, and things are kind of in a shambles right now, but I pulled city duty, so I'm patrolling here, but yeah, I know there's a pretty big contingent over there.
All right. Well, you're doing a great job. My name's Blixel, by the way. I know I'm a little different looking than a lot of the people around here, but I'm a really friendly guy, and I look forward to seeing you guys around here.
You notice he gives you a little bit of a smile and then a nod. Well, it was good to meet you, Blixel. I always say, stranger's just a friend you haven't met yet and had a beer with, right?
Exactly. All right. Blixel claps him on the shoulder and then goes to rejoin everyone eating breakfast.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so making your way down to the kitchens here, you are able to find them without too much difficulty. There's kind of set off to the side, and there's a lot of like delivery kind of stuff where they cook in one area, bring all the food up to a different area. So as you guys are kind of moving about, you do end up kind of finding your way to the kitchens. A lot of the people nearby seem a little bit kind of surprised to see you. Like, this is not usual for, I assume you guys all have like your gear and stuff on you. You're all wearing like weapons and armor.
I'm wearing that fancy robes and a nice fancy rod. That's it. Carrying it, at least, I should say.
Serena,
Go ahead, Serena.
Serena has her weapon drawn.
Yeah, Vin, he's dressed in like more elegant looking, his finer clothes, but he still has his armor on. He doesn't have any weapons but just his 2 daggers, and he kind of runs up behind Serena and like puts his arm on her shoulder and is like, "Just put that away for now. We'll talk first."
She jumps and spins around and almost slices his head off.
It's happened a lot, so I knew exactly what was going to happen, so I was already pre-ducked.
You notice as this is occurring, this lady who's standing nearby, and it looks like she's like watching you very carefully. You get this almost kind of like motherly impression from her as she's looking over the staff, but since you've entered, she's really more focused towards you. Is there something that we can help you all with? I'm afraid to say, greatly afraid to say that you're kind of in the way. We got to move in this area here. It kind of takes a full effort. Is there something we can help you with?
Aye. What's your name, lass?
Oh, me. I didn't realize you were going to ask every NPC's name. One moment, please. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm just making sure it wasn't Sybil that I was talking to.
She says, my name is Rikus.
Okay. And he kind of calms down. Rikus, we're sorry we were in your way, but we heard that we could find, what's her name? Sybil. Miss Splitter or something like that down here.
Yes, Sybil is usually here, but she usually doesn't arrive for, I don't know, another hour or so.
I see. So she's not here currently.
No, she is not. What is there some issue?
No issue. What about her little, her best friend, the Minnie, or Manny, what's her name?
Oh, Minerva? Well, what about her?
Is she around?
I haven't seen her since 2 days ago, I believe.
Alright. Well, when, old lady Sybil gets back, will you have, her come and speak to us?
Sure. Where can I tell her to meet you?
Well, we'll probably be receiving some petitioners today, so send her...
Oh, I am terribly sorry. You're the new counselors.
Sorry.
This is Count Vladino.
Oh my goodness. Oh, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. I've just been very busy down in the kitchens, and I only recently got that update. They didn't tell me what you looked like. I wasn't really sure what to expect.
Oh, well, I am him. Hello. Sorry, I'm still new to it, so, I'm Count Viorvin Gladinil, at your service.
And you see she gives you a not so great curtsy, but you can tell she's not really used to this, but she tries her best. Well, it is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance, my lord. If there's anything that we can do here in the kitchens for you, please let me know. And yes, as soon as I see Miss Splitter, I will tell her that you wish to speak with her.
And, we're sorry about Intier's little game he played, where he offered all of this free food and drink and whatnot to the public. We know that you have been working overtime, so thank you. But, yes, we'll be going now. It's a pleasure to meet you, Rikus.
You notice her expression kind of fills a little bit with like surprise as you say this, and she nods. Yes, my lord. Okay, yes.
And I'll kind of put my hand on Serena's shoulder and be like, all right, we can leave now.
All right.
All right, as you
So
guys
you have
exit your kitchens and start making your way, just kind of walking about the castle here, trying to decide what it is to do next. You notice there is a flurry of activity already, even at this early morning. You can see things are being prepared. You notice there's a lot of things like trays, utensils. There's crates, there's boxes. All of this stuff is all like in an area here in the main entrance of the castle, and it looks like the staff is really getting prepared. You assume for this giveaway that is occurring soon.
Do
Oh,
we
I didn't
st-
really like that vase anyways.
do we still have the armor and the sword?
Yeah, that was in my room, in my chest in my room. And Adam, this morning when I grabbed my stuff, I would have seen it was still in there, right?
Assuming you grab stuff out of your chest where you put that, is that what you did?
Yeah, remember I said I stopped over and I picked up all my
Oh, I thought you said you
garbs.
were
I was
wearing more
naked.
like regular garb instead of adventuring stuff. But yeah, if you opened that chest, you would have seen that stuff is still in there.
Yeah, no, remember I was naked, so I had to get dressed, and that's where my clothes were.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you would have seen that.
Yeah, it was still there, Blixel.
All right. Um,
So was
Wait,
her holy symbol, which Celine has.
are we like separated from people? I'd like to get in a corner and say, uh, Lord Gladdenell, you seriously couldn't tell if she was dead or not.
He usually relies on his friends to do that, which is why I'm surprised he didn't ask us to this time.
I did ask you, and you looked at me like I was crazy. You literally looked and said, "I thought you did that," and I said, "I'm not that good at that." And then, old Arthur and his buddy showed up. You guys were locked in the room for 2 minutes. What were you doing?
So I will put my fingers on Lord Gladdenell's throat. Say, just right here, underneath the jawline, this is an artery where the heart pumps blood, and you could try mine. See, you could see it beating. Sometimes you can actually see it, but in your case, you just need to calm down a little bit, press slightly, and you'll be able to get a pulse. That may help in your next check.
Hey, just a question: is he now trained in medicine?
Yep, it's that easy. Yep.
And I'm proficient. All
Nice.
right.
I wasted so
Nice.
much money going to medical school.
Always that next roll.
Well, and I'll be jokingly, and I'll say, or she has other means to survive.
Well, it's hard to kill me. It's happened to, I've gotten pretty close recently, but uh, thank you for the tip, Dean. And I'll kind of push his arm back down and say, but in my defense, it was dark and a lot of shit just happened.
We were all very tired.
And I just sat through like a 3.5 hour meeting where people called me Lord, Lord.
Are we sure that people didn't, like the guards didn't come remove the body?
They weren't. They had no reason to enter any rooms.
Should we
She
go
left.
upstairs? Should we go upstairs and do like a Scooby-Doo style investigation? Look for clues?
No, I mean we know this person works for Sybil or is friends with Sybil. We have all of her stuff. Sybil will come and speak to us at some point today. We'll get to the bottom of it. I think right now we should probably focus on the shit we have prepared for the day, because if we don't, it's gonna suck.
I'll bet you a gold coin that Sybil's gonna call in sick today.
Well, if she does, then we know that that's worth investigating. Every action, and no action in itself, ends up having some kind of meaning.
do we have a way to protect Serena in case this lady's out there shouting from the rooftops about her?
We do.
Well,
His name is Stinky.
Stinky.
and
Very
then he's like,
stinky.
his eyes like light up. Let's go get Stinky before we're trapped in any meetings. Let's see if we could find him.
Wait, hang on. Tannen recommended that we not do that in the middle of the day in broad daylight with all these people around.
You're right.
What if we just put him in a cute outfit? It would be like a parade.
Get him a little unicycle.
little top hat.
Yeah, exactly. You guys got the idea.
One of them little fat ties. You know what I'm talking about? Really fat ones.
Well, it'll be easy
Right,
for me
raise
to.
morale.
We could do it later. It'll be easy for me to locate that animal. That's something that I'm able to do, and we should be able to find him pretty quickly.
All right. Well, we should probably find Lord Tannen and see what time our first meeting is today. Oh, how do I look, everyone? Fancy enough to introduce myself to the public?
Yeah,
How does he
sure.
look?
Absolutely.
Should I take the armor off over top of the armor, or put it under the clothes, or?
Well, your people's about valor and fighting and strength, right? So you should have your best foot forward in those areas.
Be armed to the teeth.
He does have like 3 daggers on him, but okay, all right. Well, you guys ready?
Maybe don't listen to Serena.
Let's go find Lord Tannen.
Bring on the bureaucracy.
Alrighty, so you look about for Lord Cannon, seeing a lot of flurry of activity. Sure enough, you find him at the center of it, seemingly acting as a supervisor, directing all these people in different ways of where they can go. So he's essentially out front of the castle right now, controlling, think of this as traffic control, as stuff is going back and forth from the castle out to the front.
Alright, we kind of wave at him. Tannen! Hello, Lord.
You see he notices you as you say this and kind of like looks in your direction, then speaking with somebody nearby, you see he kind of continues that conversation just briefly, and then that person steps off heading back towards the gates, and he steps over towards you, a smile sort of growing on his face. Oh, good morning, my lord, counselors. It is good to see you all. I hope you slept well.
Well, we were attacked in the middle of the night, Lord Tannen.
You notice he raises an eyebrow. Seriously, what? Oh, please give me the details.
Well, there's a guardsman named Arthur who we spoke with that will have a lot of information about it. Perhaps we could have him summoned at some point and we could go more in detail about everything, but her name, I believe, is Minnie. She works with Sybil Missplitter, and she had tied Serena to her bed and was slashing down upon her with her sword, calling her unfit names and things of that nature, and she almost slayed her if not for Serena's nimbleness.
You notice as you say the word nimbleness, he looks over towards Serena with like a suspect eye. I'm terribly sorry for your troubles, my lady. This is very strange. Do we understand why she did this?
Unfortunately, she escaped our grasp last night. We've been unable to track her down. We requested to speak with Miss Sybil. We'll see if she shows up.
My best guess is she hates followers of Halen.
That seems unusual. Obviously, this land is far more dedicated to ceremony, but very few people dislike Halen or his followers. Well, this is very troubling news indeed. Perhaps you may want to consider hiring a Castilian, someone who is able to control a bit better all of the movings about the guards. Obviously, there is a captain of the guard, but his purview is typically the city and not necessarily the schedules and things strictly in the castle. But a Castilian could could probably help in this regard.
Speaking of which, we found a little bit more information about this captain and his essentially being unfit for duty, it appears, and a lot of the people underneath him think the same. That's going to cause a lot of problems, Tannen. But if you have any recommendations for this Castilian, will you give them to Celine, the new seneschal, or Serena, the other seneschal?
He nods. Yes, I'm sure I can get some names of individuals who would be suitable. I will see what I can do. Of course, unfortunately, my time right now is dedicated to this giveaway. I'm doing what I can to really try to keep the costs down, but I'm afraid that work has been a bit troubling. And here's where I will ask for a volunteer. Who would like to roll a d20, and you want high?
Oh, not me. No. Do my -2s count?
No.
I think our treasurer should do that. Who is that? Blixel?
Tannen's the treasurer, but
Treasurer.
Shit.
I'll do it. Here, D20.
Just a d20, yep.
Go high, baby.
Easy.
Yeah!
He says, the challenges here, we're trying to keep the costs down. As I mentioned, it would be 2 gold bars, but you said there would be an additional in reserve if we had to. I'm afraid we did indeed spend the entire 2 gold bars, but I have managed to not allow that budget to extend any further. We were able to find some ways to cut costs here and there, and, well, some individual business owners in the city we may owe a couple favors to, but overall, I think we did quite well.
Well, we'll need some letters drafted up to send an official thank you for the assistance today to those business owners, and we'll remember those favors. But well done, Tannen. Good job.
He nods. It is to the dutiful work of the staff here that this really was able to be done. But thank you, I appreciate it, and I'll make sure that the folks who helped really pull the strings of all this together are aware of your gratitude as well.
So how's this whole petitioner thing work? Am I supposed to just sit in some chair somewhere and they come and say hello?
Typically, yes, there is the throne room, which your uncle usually used, and there is a procedure where each petitioner is brought in at a time. This will usually start late morning, sometimes early afternoon. Your uncle occasionally even started things later there, but I would warn you that people tend to get angry if they're kept waiting too long, and that usually doesn't bode well either way. But there is some discretion over the order at which you see these individuals, if you have any thoughts there.
As in the public versus private?
Yes, there is that matter, of course. We ask everybody that has business before the court to arrive at the court. We typically say late morning is when things will get started. So once they're here, they tell the staff that they're here, and then we can pull them as we wish, let them come forward. We can take them on a first come, first served basis. Really all depends on what it is you wish to do.
Have any arrived already?
Not that I'm aware of, but I must say I have been quite busy with these arrangements. I would have to check with the staff inside, but I can certainly do so if you like.
There's no rush, I suppose, but I would like to get a move on it. I'd much rather have my day not completely dominated with petitioners, and maybe tonight we could have a drink and relax a little after the harrowing first day of duty.
I hope so, but I must tell you, there is quite a bit of business here, so unless you're wanting to treat them very quickly or just give them very quick answers, I'm afraid you will have to spend a significant amount of time dealing with these. But yes, let's see if we can't get things underway. Did you have a preference on the private meetings versus the petitioners?
I look around at everyone. Well, counsel?
Makes no difference to me.
It doesn't matter. Let's just get it on with when it's time.
Perhaps we see the private ones first, since they felt their information needed to be that important.
He nods. Okay, well then follow me. I will make sure arrangements here are taken care of, and we will see who has arrived so far.
Can you get some breakfast sent in?
You notice as you say this, he kind of looks at you and just takes like a moment, and then yes, of course I can, my lord. Let me see if I can get the staff on that.
So sorry, Tannen. I know that's not your duty. Who can I ask someone? Is there a servant nearby?
You notice people kind of ferrying stuff back and forth, and you see he gives you a slight smile, and he says, I appreciate it. I'm a bit overworked, and, well, every additional task slows everything else down. But yes, excuse me. And you see he calls forth, and you see one of the servants who's, like, porting stuff back and forth. The lord here would like some breakfast. Can you make arrangements? And the servant nods, says, yes, my lord, I will take care of everything. Just head on into the kitchens or I'm sorry, not the kitchens, the dining room, of course. That's what I meant to say. I meant to say dining room. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. But I will go to the kitchens and I will make sure food is brought to you.
And Vin kind of smiles and he looks and says, "Does anybody have any request?"
Something not too heavy. We got a long day of meetings ahead of us, so nice little salad or something.
Prosecco.
Yeah, that's high on the list. Just make sure there's bacon or something. Thanks. No need to be too fussy.
You notice
First-
almost like a game of ping pong as his eyes looks between the two of you, trying to rationalize between not too heavy and then bacon and one. You know, you say,
First, you're gonna juice some tomatoes. Then
I like
You're
my
going to
orange
get-
juice without any pulp.
you're gonna get some liquor. You're gonna mix that in, and then you're gonna put
Bloody
half the
Mary.
garden in it.
At this
That's what I'm
early
having.
hour, my lady, are you quite certain that is what you wish?
It's
She
a signature
tightens
drink
her
from back
grasp
home.
on
It's
the
sort of-
cabbage harvester.
You
Yeah,
see,
it's
the servant
a
kind of
typical
gulps,
drink from back in the hamlet.
and you
Yeah.
see he nods. Oh, excuse me. I'm terribly sorry to question you. Of course, I will see what we can do, my lady.
Quickly.
Celine over there, she likes whole milk, 2%.
A reference to something.
Nope. I figured that's what Celine drinks in the morning.
You notice
Right.
the servant's like, after Serena said quickly, he's already basically leaving. He's looking at you as he's stepping away. Yep, okay, and I'll bring some of that, and then I'll make sure. And then he turns and just starts booking it.
Lord
Damn it,
Tannen.
I didn't get to go.
Are you guys
Shit.
having fun?
Lord Tannen.
You see he looks over towards you, again speaking with another individual for a quick moment, looks back. Yes, counselor.
I know it's at the worst time to have to have this set upon you, but this, and I produce a scrolled up parchment. This is the first official correspondence of the new administration. It is intended for Lord Daedric Moriad. We talked about this yesterday. I've managed to draft it, and it would be an utmost importance that this would be secured courier in some way to get to him.
He nods. I can certainly arrange that to be delivered to Lord Derek Moriad, my counselor.
Thank you. And I'll just nod, and that's it.
All right, he takes the correspondence from you.
And I don't know if you noticed, Adam, but I put it in the Discord.
I did indeed notice, yes. Okay.
Vin starts looking at the dining room location and takes off. He stops by one of the servants. Hey, can we smoke in here?
You notice they look at you with confusion and just kind of like, yeah?
Nice.
You're in charge.
Oh, shit. So new to this. Sorry.
Stop saying sorry. You're in charge. Just do it. If you want to smoke something, smoke it.
All right, as you guys make your way over to the dining room, sure enough, you see that same servant come out with a platter of food about 10 minutes later or so. Setting this food down, you can see there is like a big salad bowl. Then there's a bunch of different smaller bowls with various vegetables. So think tomatoes, probably some like onion, carrot, all of this kind of stuff, like sort of salad fixings. Got all this lined up on one side. He looks over towards you, Tabard, and says, "They're burning the bacon black right now. I'll have that out shortly." And then there's bread, and then you see he kind of starts running back, and he's every time he comes back with a new plate, he's like, "And then there's this." So eventually, you can see this like whole pile of food lining up here on this very large table.
Oh yeah.
As you just
Big-
start getting into this food, maybe grabbing a bite of salad, or once the bacon's delivered, grabbing a couple of strips and snacking on those, you notice Lord Tannen walks in from the main lobby area of the castle over to the dining room, and he looks towards you and he says, "The first of the petitioners has arrived. In fact, there is
Oh,
already a few of them here."
damn it. All right. Well, we're gonna eat breakfast real quick.
Eat fat.
And what? I just want some bacon, Tannen. We're just once the bacon hits, then we're good.
We will serve at your pleasure, my lord. Take your time as you wish. I will let the petitioners know that you will see them as soon as you are able.
Don't say it like that. Give it like a 20 minute. I don't know. I don't know how this works, Tannen. Is that how you say it? Just at my leisure? That sounds rude, though.
Yes, they must be aware that they are here and you have very important things to do, so they might have to wait a little bit. As long as you don't keep them waiting too long, it should be no issue.
Depends on how much bacon there is. Huh.
You notice he gives you a little smile. Yes, well, I will go over and pacify them to make sure there are no concerns and perhaps see if I can't get them in some kind of an order for you, my lord, if you'll excuse me.
Sounds good. And that Usk guy, right? The one who's been all concerned about his identity and everything. Is he here?
He is not here quite yet, no.
I expect some additional acts of subterfuge for his identity, but please make sure he's not harassed about it.
I shall do what I can.
Alright. Thank you, Tannen.
You see he turns on his heel and makes his way to the north.
As soon as he turns around, I stuff my face with that bread that I was loading with butter.
All right. Yeah, so more food is delivered here. So yeah, a lot of salad fixings. Eventually, like platters of fruit gets delivered. A few different meats as well. The bacon's already here, but more like ham is delivered. Yeah, you can just see the table kind of starts piling up, and you're starting to realize there's far more food here than even the six of you could ever eat.
Blixel just makes a small salad, doesn't overdo it, and coffee.
All right, so yeah, as you guys each enjoy the meals of your choice here and snacking on this, is there anything specific you'd like to do before making your way over to the throne room to receive the petitioners?
I'd like to speak to the other like people working where Sybil would normally work.
Okay, sure. So make your way over to the kitchens.
Yeah, and basically tell them to have her come try to see us when she comes to work.
Okay,
Or
so
see me.
as you enter the kitchens, you were just here a short while ago, but as you enter the kitchens after having a bite to eat, having a couple conversations, some time has passed. You speak with the staff, and you notice that as you mention Sybil's name, this old woman looks up towards you that you hadn't spotted before, and she says, "I'm Sybil. What do you want?"
Oh, Sybil, hello.
You
Can I
see, she
speak with you for a
she
moment?
puts her finger to these really wide glasses, and she adjusts them on her face. Oh, what? What do you want?
Come here. I don't. It's a matter of privacy.
You see, she kind of shakes her head and starts grumbling under her breath as she's standing up. And she kind of slowly saunters over towards you. Yes? What is it?
Do you have a friend named Minnie?
And you see, she kind of narrows her eyes. Yes, Minerva is a friend of mine. Why do you ask?
Does she have a problem with any of us that are new to the castle here?
I don't even know who you are. Who are you?
Oh, I am Blixel, the master of ceremonies for the new count.
Oh, oh, No, not that I know. I don't think she knows any of you. I don't know any of you. We talk all the time. She's never mentioned any of you.
Well, she was, I think, snooping around here. Is there a way for her to get into this place that you know of? Have you been letting her in here?
Yes, I let her in.
All right, don't do that anymore. All right?
You see, she puts her hand on her hip. Don't you see? You don't understand. See, she came to me yesterday and she said that she had spotted this being of evil that was moving through the city streets, and she said she saw that being of evil go into the castle. Here in the castle. Can you believe that?
Yes, I think she's very confused and dangerous. All right, Sybil? So we're going to keep the confused and dangerous people away from the new count. All right?
She gently slaps your hand. I won't have you say anything bad about my friend. She doesn't do anything like that. She is a person of pure heart, and she is strong in faith, and she is a follower of Kurik, and she will never do anything wrong.
Um, I'm glad you believe that, but I need you to not let her in anymore.
Give me a blind check here, Blixel. You see, she kind of like looks at you and is kind of gritting her teeth here, but you can see it slowly starts to kind of relax. Okay, fine. I won't let her in anymore, but this is ridiculous. I can tell you, she is a good person.
Yeah, I believe you. Do you know where she stays? I mean, perhaps I could go speak to her and try to assuage her that there's no evil in the castle, and that way we can sort of put this to rest.
Well, sometimes she stays at my house, but right now I think she was staying at the Hog's Head Inn.
Hawks Head Inn. Okay, good to know. Well, thank you, Sybil. I appreciate it. Thank you for understanding. We're just trying to be as safe as possible. Okay. I didn't mean to make you upset. All right, Sybil. Thanks a lot.
You see, she kind of just watches you as you're leaving. You can tell she has this, like, she wants to say something, but she thinks better of it. She just doesn't. Yeah, okay.
Books will return to the group. Be like, I met Sybil. She's real old.
How old is real old?
Oof. Uh, I think every day is a blessing for her. Anyway, she doesn't seem to know much. Um, but she did say that her friend had been tracking something throughout the entire city and eventually found it here. So he looks at Serena.
Sounds like she knows a lot.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I told her not to let anybody in anymore because that's bad. But she may be staying at the Hog's Head Tavern.
Let's go.
Do you want to go now before we? Do we have to meet with the petitioners?
Well, yeah, they're kind of waiting.
Should we take care of the wild paladin, or just sort of let her do her thing?
Well, let's think of this from an angle of like we were pursuing somebody who attacked somebody out in the wild, right? If they got a full night ahead of us with sleep, we can assume that either A, she's still there and she just went home and went to bed, which sounds foolish, or she took the hell off.
Um, she
She
seemed
doesn't
like
have
one
a
of
home
those
here.
fanatic types,
She
though.
needs to be arrested, so
They don't give up. You know what I mean? I've met a few of those religious types, and
Well,
I
we don't
doubt
have to
she's
do
gonna run
things
away.
ourselves. We don't look. What we'll do is we'll talk to a few of the guards. We'll have a couple of the guardsmen. Maybe we'll have Arthur go down to Hogshead and arrest her if she's there. And if she's not, he can come back and report it to us. That way we don't waste our petitioner's time or our own.
What's the charge they're gonna arrest her at?
attempted
Trespassing.
murder.
or
Making dinner.
attempted murder.
We made a whole
Pick one.
story about that. That wasn't what happened.
Sure, but we can arrest her for what we want. It's kind of
Oh, okay. You're really digging into it. All right, fine. Yeah, that's fine with me.
How
Well,
quickly we
she-
abandoned due process. But yeah, we did kind of catch her in the act. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, the
Arthur
reality is
knows the
she's
truth.
dangerous.
That's why we send Arthur. That's what I'm saying. That's why we send Arthur.
can he bring
Okay.
some help? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know about the trust. I don't know if I trust like one guard to apprehend a paladin.
I also request that they are permitted to continue the investigation if she's no longer at that location.
That's fair. All right. Well, let's get a guard in here. Oh, this bacon made me feel fat.
All right. That's
All right.
settled.
So you give a word out that you want a guard to arrive, and shortly later, you notice one of the castle guards does indeed step up the steps here into the dining area. You see, he looks over and says, "Yes, I was told to arrive here."
Yes, soldier. What's your name?
Oh, I am Benton.
Benton. Hello. I am looking for a guardsman of yours named Arthur. Are you familiar?
Yes, I know Arthur.
Is he on duty?
He is. I believe he is out securing the festivities.
All right. Well, I'll need you to go and get him. And when you can, come back because we have a job for you two.
Okay, yes, I will go collect him and bring him back.
And will you send somebody to replace him? Doing his
Yes.
thing outside?
I will let them know that he is needed elsewhere, and yeah, they will make sure that somebody else is there.
Perfect. And in the nicest way possible, could you maybe put a double on it?
You see, he looks at you, and yes, I shall go right now. You see, he turns and starts moving in haste.
I turn and look at everybody. Bada bing! How about that? Ciao.
I'll be impressed when she's in shackles before us.
I got a gold coin on she's not even here no more.
About
Well,
5 to 10 minutes pass by here before both this guard and Arthur return. You notice Arthur kind of like climbs these steps a little bit quicker with Benton just behind him. And you see he looks and says, "Yes, my lord, you wish to speak with me?"
Arthur! Long day, bud. You've been on the clock for, gosh, I don't know, 10 hours or so now.
Oh, actually, my shift was just ending when I spoke with you last night, so I did get some hours of sleep.
Perfect. Well, I have a job for you, and your companion here, Benton, right, Benton?
He nods.
You remember the situation last night?
Arthur, nods a little bit slow. Yes.
Well, the best way of saying this is what we thought happened did not happen, and they indeed got away. We have knowledge that they are staying at the Hogshead Inn, and I'd like you to go and arrest them. With Benton's help, of course.
Yes, okay, I can certainly do that. Should I report this to the captain first? If we go off without informing the captain, a lot of times he gets quite angry.
Does he get angry at you, or does he get angry at the people that make him go off and do things?
Well, I guess just us. And you see, he looks over towards Benton. You see, Benton kind of looks back at him, but doesn't answer one way or the other. He says that there's a process, and that you can't just be lollygagging. That's one of his favorite words. Says it all the time. You're lollygagging too much. So if we're going to be doing something that he hasn't specifically approved, then we usually have to tell him.
I can notify him.
Yeah, we'll notify him for you. And if he gives you any word or mouth or slack about it, you tell him to come and see us.
You notice Arthur kind of stands up a little bit taller. Yes, my lord, I will take care of this immediately. Come, Benton, let's head to the Hog's Head then.
You remember what she looks like, bud?
He nods. Oh, yes, quite a distinctive appearance. I wouldn't forget that for some time.
And if she's no
No.
longer there, inquire about her current whereabouts.
Yes, and you see he looks at you as you say this, softly or by any means necessary.
Do you want me to answer that, Count?
We're not here to create a reputation of anything vile, Arthur. But we cannot stand for someone to be attacked within these walls for no reason. And we can't allow that perpetrator to get away without following the thread till its end. Do you understand?
So rough without damaging or hurting anybody. I think I've got you, my lord.
Indeed.
All right.
She's a wily one, but we took her stuff. So she shouldn't give you too much of a fight.
Yes, and you notice Benton has this kind of like confused look on his face. He keeps looking between the two of you. Come, Benton, we'll take care of this. Yes, my lord, I'll report back as soon as I have news.
Thank you, Arthur.
He gives you a quick salute, and then him and Benton both quickly trot out of it.
Nice. Arthur is the shit, guys.
Yeah, he
Okay.
seems on the level. Are you ready for like 9 hours of meetings, Finn?
Yeah. Let me get some more coffee in my pitcher here. And we'll go.
All right, so let's put this to a little bit of randomness here. Tavard, roll me a d6, please.
Nice.
Oh, no, we might not. I haven't
Yeah,
heard you in a
right.
while. Okay, a 5, got it. Okay, so as you guys are wrapping up your food and eating and drink and so forth, and then start getting escorted over towards the throne room, with Tannen kind of ushering you guys forth, you enter the throne room proper and see that it has been hastily decorated to be a little bit fancier than it was yesterday.
Oh, wow.
All right, so
Check out my
seeing...
chair.
Yes, indeed. So you see where this throne is. It is not like super elaborate, but it's pretty nice based on what you're seeing there. What is not depicted in this picture, but what I imagine they have set up for you here is, imagine that there is like a table off on this side of the room, a kind of a longer table, right? And this is where there are several chairs, and Tannen sort of motions for the counselors to have your seats there. So you can expect that the petitioners will be coming in from this direction, and they will be sort of in the middle of the throne room here as they give the petition up, and then obviously you guys will both be able to hear them and be able to direct how you wish.
So where would the rest of the council be? Would they be standing or sitting or?
So imagine there's like a table on this side, a pretty decently long table, and there's chairs on this back side of the table. The counselors,
Gotcha.
Tannen has basically having them all sit like this. So they would be almost like parallel with the petitioner, depending, and then obviously you're elevated up here.
How nice
Okay.
are the chairs?
I mean, they're decent. They're nothing to write home about, though.
Business casual.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Test.
Yeah, we can hear you now, Tavern.
Yeah.
There it is.
So yeah, thanks. So I was gonna say sending 2 people off to go get somebody who almost beat us up may be a challenge, but didn't have that Discord chance.
Tavern's
Well, she
mouth
doesn't
is
have
filled
a-
with bacon at that point.
Yeah.
That's
She
right.
doesn't have her holy symbol.
Yeah.
Or her
So-
weapon or her armor.
Yeah, and she may not have any in her home, although I have extra spares. But I was gonna say, Adam, I'd like to try to, when they're going through this stuff, am I able to take a short rest while they're yapping?
Yeah, I would say not during this like little breakfast period. An hour really hasn't even passed yet.
No, I'm talking about, my apologies, like while they're having these conversations here or whatever.
Oh, as part of the petitioners?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, assuming nothing crazy happens, you'll just be, listening and talking, so that would qualify for a short rest.
Okay, I'll do that, and then if it doesn't happen, we'll deal with it. But if you can just tell me, hey, yeah, Bill, your short rest works now, or whatever.
I will assume you're basically starting that process, and after an hour, we'll declare that is complete.
Fair enough. Thanks.
Okay, all right. So as Lord Tannen is sort of organizing everything here, get everybody situated, is there any last details? You notice he kind of looks around. There's nobody else in the room yet. He motions towards the table, motions to your chair, kind of explains how this is going to go, essentially saying the exact same things I just told you, where people are going to stand, where you're going to sit, and then he looks towards you all and he says, are there any questions before I permit the first private meeting petitioner in?
Nope, I guess not.
All right, excellent. Well, then I shall permit the first one to enter and leave his petition before you. And as he makes his way back towards the door to allow the first petitioner in, as we're just about halfway through our session here, let's go ahead and pause and take our 15-minute break here, folks.
Radio
See you
check.
later.
See y'all in a bit.
See everybody back
Hello.
at 15.
Hello.
Alrighty, we are back into the second half of our session here as the team is just getting ready to meet the various petitioners. Let's get everybody back over to the throne room. Alrighty, team. So as you are positioned in the throne room here, you can see as the first petitioner is getting ready to be led in, Lord Tannen makes his way to the back, and you see that there are two individuals in this room as well as some other guards along the sides. They're at a bit of a distance. You get the impression they're here for security, but not that they'll be able to necessarily hear everything the petitioners say unless, you intentionally be really loud or call them forward, that sort of thing. And then right at the entrance, there is also a person with a trumpet who Lord Tannen explains to you is a crier, essentially announces each person as they enter. And with that complete, Lord Tannen motions for the first person to be let in. You hear or notice that there is some commotion by the door entry here into the throne room, and you notice the crier does indeed play his trumpet, just a single blast that goes on for a couple of seconds, and then raising his voice to the air, he says, announcing Mr. Yelmes Lamex, who is arriving from the northwest. And you see he kind of looks a little bit perplexed as he says this. You notice a figure then enters the room. This individual is somewhat shorter than an average-sized person. You're kind of looking at him, and his appearance is quite striking, in fact. I'm going to share this picture. I want to be crystal clear that this picture is not 100% accurate. This is giving you a picture of what he looks like, but ignore the sort of surroundings around him. All right, so as he enters here, you can see he is wearing some very casual looking clothing, very lightweight, but you do notice he has this sort of like flowing black hair. Obviously not flowing like it shows in the picture here. There's not water here, but you notice he walks in about 30 feet or so, and then he takes a knee as he is looking up towards the throne room here, and you see he gives a low bow.
Can we see his ears?
They look to be pretty average looking human-like ears.
Okay, cool. So I'll look down at him and say, hello.
You notice as you say this, he raises his head and he looks at you and looks kind of like he blinks a bit, looks to his knee, and then seemingly decides to stand up. So he does so, and he nods to you. Greetings, my lord. I must say I apologize that I was not able to bring a customary gift for a new regent, though I was not aware that there was a new regent before I left my homeland to come here.
It's a fair assessment. Up until last night, I didn't know that I was going to be the regent before you today. So, no qualms. But my father ran this place once, so I assume I'll just take on the duties that he left behind. Now, where is this homeland of yours?
It is not an area that you're probably very familiar with, my lord, but I am a Triton. Are you familiar with my people?
I don't think Vin would have ever... I mean, he's, small country boy from the hamlet, so he'll say, unfortunately, if you're not similar to any of my companions there, and I'll point to his right, and I can say that I'm unfamiliar.
You see he turns and looks towards the table of counselors and kind of glances at each one of you individually, and then nods
Sorry.
a bit.
Yeah, his right though. My left, his right.
He nods a bit as he looks at each one of you, and then he says, "My lord, allow me to educate you. I am a Triton. My people live underneath the seas. In fact, our colony is in the mouth of the area that you refer to as the Tail Firth. In fact, the river, which you refer to as the Rude River, dumps directly into the sea where my colony exists. And that is why I have come here to beseech your aid."
And what aid would that be?
Unfortunately, due to all of the work that you do here, the cutting down of trees and so forth, there ends up being a lot of material that is dumped directly into the river, which then flows out to our colony. We are frequently bombarded with various pieces of garbage and other detritus that is seemingly just discarded into the river by your people here. I mean, no disrespect, of course. I understand this work is difficult and the river probably makes it easier, but I hope to implore upon you the consequences of doing so. You're essentially dumping garbage directly into our homeland.
Well, I appreciate you bringing this to our attention, as the guild's duties with their logging don't fall squarely upon my shoulders, I can tell you. I can at least speak to the person in charge of them and do my best for this. But could you be more specific? I mean, you're saying garbage. Are you referring to anything specific?
There has been quite a bit of an odds and ends that have come down the river over these past several months. Frequently, we get small bits of wood. It seems as though trees or bits and pieces that are not perhaps suitable for your use are simply being dumped into the river. There are pieces of weapons, axes, and things that seemingly are really badly in shape and just discarded into the river. There is sometimes this sludge like material that seems to come on through as though it's oily in appearance. It is quite disgusting, if I can say that. It is just, there is many different things. The odds and ends are too numerous to even list. And I must say, my lord, from my people, I am what is known as a sign seer. I interpret various signs. If something interesting happens, you spot something, or you hear something, or you dream something, I am able to take that and interpret and tell you what it means. But with everything that has flowed in, it is seemingly disturbing our area and my connection and ability to read the signs.
I see. Councilus, anything you'd like to ask?
Yeah, can I add something here? I don't know your people, but I wouldn't want anybody shitting in my house either. So, um, do you have any engineers or anybody of your people?
You see, he kind of like looks at you a bit strangely. I'm sorry, I don't recognize this word. Engineer?
People who build things or design things and create things. I'm sure, you know, like with us, like I can fix houses here and things, but do you have anybody that is creative like that in your world? I'm sorry, I just don't know your people.
We have craftspeople, yes.
So, um, maybe your people, Vin, maybe his people and our people can kind of work to a joint solution here, right? You know, maybe having them on our side and coming with a solution may be a good thing if their people work with our people.
Sounds like a good idea, Tavard. Maybe we could build some sort of net to catch any kind of overflow or dumping of trash, while also seeing if we could speak to the camps nearby the rivers on proper disposal.
It sounds like a lot of that stuff could be like recycled goods, so maybe have like some of the other townsfolk that, you know, could use some of those materials, maybe focus on a recycling program. But I think that their people should be involved in this solution and help build, a relationship between us to make sure that we are, helping his people out.
Vin kind of eyes the rest of the table to see if anyone else has anything to say.
We just can't step on the guild's toes. So, as long as we tread lightly.
He brings up a good point. So, although our inter-province discussions are not for your ears or your troubles at all, it is not easy for us to dictate how exactly the guild moves. As you can understand, we're quite new in this position as they are established and well built. But we can promise you that your problem is well heard and received, and like a few of my companions have mentioned, we would not want someone to shit in our house, as Tavad had put it. So, we will look to solving this issue, and we'll probably bring a few of your people on board if we can come up with a good place to meet and have a discussion about how to fix it, while also we'll send discussion to our guild representatives and leaders in hopes that they can also amend some of their practices. We're sorry for dumping anything onto your people.
He nods slowly. The platitudes that you have provided are encouraging, and I apologize. I thought that you were the ruler of these lands. I mean no disrespect, but are you suggesting that there is somebody else that I should be speaking with that are more appropriately able to handle these matters?
No, no. I'm the one that will be able to have the discussion that is needed to. It sounds like some of the people that have come before you and will come after you have had similar problems with these guild members. So, like I said, it's a problem that we must tread on lightly, as that is an established unity before we were here. We don't want to cause any trouble. We don't want to dump anything on your people. We also don't want to cause disturbance within our own community. I hope you can understand that.
Yes, I can. Any help that you can provide would, of course, be very much appreciated. As far as working with us, I'm afraid there is no standard line of communication between your lands and ours. Getting here, I had to swim up the river for quite some time. It was very tiring, if I could say so myself, but I had hoped that you would be more receptive to these issues than your neighbors to the west. I'm afraid we've had no luck in dealing with the goblins.
Are the goblins also dumping things in your river?
They are, yes, but whatever help you can provide would be helpful.
Well, sounds like with bits of wood, that could be us, and then weaponry and oozes and whatnot could be the goblins. Sounds like we're equally at fault for causing you harm in your home. So, what I'll do is I will. It's tough to say. I think the best thing for us to do would be to investigate the exact dumping sites. Get to the bottom of who's doing it, where, how often. If it is the goblins, well, we could put an end to that quickly. In terms of our own people, we can handle that.
That if there's any influence you have over the Goblin Nation, that would be quite wonderful if you could get them in line as well. The amount of garbage that just comes down the river, it's very saddening, I must say. We have, for your awareness, my lord, we have made some agreements with the domain of Thosone, and we get very little garbage from them. It's very minor, and they keep trying to do better, and they've told us that they will do everything they can to keep the waters clean. But as I said, the goblins have not been receptive at all. I'm very encouraged to hear your words on this matter. If there is some type of mechanism or engineer that you could use to stop the stuff that flows from your land to ours, we would consider that a great success.
Like I said, we'll get someone to investigate the solution from at least our side of the river and what we can do to diminish how much trash we go directly polluting into your home. Similar to Dozone and what they do. In terms of the goblin, well, we'll be happy to at least investigate and see what we can get to the bottom of. In terms of an engineer, well, Tavard's the closest thing that I know to one right now, so we'll have him investigate it personally, if that's fine with you.
I am very encouraged and happy that you are taking this matter seriously. I very much appreciate it. I thank you very much for your time. So as I mentioned previously, among my people, I interpret the signs. If this is a gift that could be of benefit to you here now, I would be happy to perform a reading for you before I depart.
What does this reading entail?
If you explain to me something of interest that you've seen recently, encountered, dreamed, heard, anything along those lines, I can interpret it through the view and then let you know what it is that that foretells.
Okay.
The bird. Ask about the bird.
Perhaps you could do it to one of the council members here. One we know has been troubled by at least some past memories.
If you wish, yes. Which of your companions here?
Serena? Would you let him give you a reading?
Sorry, these bureaucratic meetings don't always hold my attention. What is he offering?
Out of character, he sounds like he's kind of like a dream reader, palm reader kind of guy.
Sick. That would be amazing to have any insights to the missing chunks of my life. In more ways than one.
Well, it sounds like she's game, sir.
He nods, and you see he turns and looks towards you, Serena. The information you wish, it may not be exactly what I see, but have you had any interesting encounters recently? Seen anything of interest? Heard anything? Any odd dreams that you've had?
Well, my nightmare turned out to be real life, but I did see a very strange bird. And I describe it in detail, including the beady red eyes.
He
Just
nods.
this morning, in fact.
This damn bird again.
Interesting. Very interesting, in fact. If you'll permit me, and you see he starts moving to his hand down to his side, where he has a small pack. You see he pulls out a couple of shells, and you see he kind of like juggles these shells in his hand, just bouncing them up and down, and then you see he grasps his hand pretty tight, shakes his hand really strongly once again, and then looks towards the shells, and he looks back and he says, Birds are not normally my expertise, as you can imagine from where I'm from, but I do see something here. This bird, if it was sick or injured, it reflects that you have neglected your purpose. It indicates to you to reclaim your gifts. You have neglected your creativity.
Interesting. I don't know. I've been. The extension of my creativity has been limited to cabbages in the past. So I guess I need to figure out my purpose.
He nods. I hope that was of some assistance to you. I know sometimes the signs aren't as clear and direct as we would like them to be, but nonetheless, thank you, counselors. And you see he turns back to you. Thank you, my lord. I shall be here in your fine city for another week or so. If there's any additional communications that you need, I will stop in at the castle staff every day just to see if you have any word for me. And then after the week, I will be departing home. Is there any other questions that you have or anything you would like to ask of me before I leave?
Thank you so much for your insight, no matter how cryptic.
You walked in here saying you didn't have a gift, and you provided one. It is well received and appreciated.
You notice he gives you a smile, Tavard, and says, thank you very much, Counselor. Your acknowledgement of this gift is truly inspiring. I thank all of you for your time, and I shall depart now and allow you to move on to other business. You see, he smiles and does another bow before turning and starting to walk away. All right.
It was very
after
nice meeting you.
you
Guys,
call
what do
this
you
out
think
as
that
he takes it.
purpose is?
Lord Glendenale,
Yes.
I was wondering if, before the next person comes, could you be a bit, do you think you should be this casual, or he seemed to be taken aback by the um, common tone that you presented to him? Just my idea. Do you think it's a benefit that you continue to do so?
I mean, I could try a new, more noble and professional tone, but I have to say that I've only met maybe 6 people that would be considered nobles.
I find it very relatable.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to get your opinion, my lord. You're doing great.
Well, I try to think about how my dad spoke, judging off of only the letter I have and then my mother's words about him. I can't imagine that he was some sophisticated speaker. I'm sure he was quite blunt and honest. It's probably where I got it from. So I'd like to do my best to meet in the middle, I suppose, of these two things, because I don't want people to look down on me, but at the same time, I don't want people to act like they can't speak to us.
Very well.
You notice Lord Cannon in the back, and he says, when you're ready, give the word, and I will bring the next one in.
It's a really long room, huh? Okay, Tannen, go ahead.
And a
You-
loud
We
trumpet.
wave the white flag.
And a loud trumpet that announces being in the presence of the king.
Count, man.
Sure enough, you notice some more commotion by the door as another individual is entering, and the trumpet louds off this a loud sound once again, and he announces, Mr. Boren Hall from here in Carolinian to see the Count. You notice a very young man enters this room. You're not even sure if you would quite call this man an adult. He looks like he's right on that, right on the dividing line between child and adult, perhaps. You see, he kind of strides into this room with a very casual countenance about himself. He's got this self-assured smile on his face. You see, he looks over towards the counselors. Hi, how are you? How are you? And then you see he looks up at you. Good to see you, Count.
Good to see you, Mr. Hall.
Yes, indeed. I'll get right down to business, you see, because I'm sure you're busy. I'm busy. We'll try to take care of this without too much to do, right? You see, I am a businessman, you see, and I've been in the trades and moving product from different areas here and there, of course, and it's been kind of interesting and things, but for the reason I've come before you, Count, is, I assume, being new in this whole endeavor, that you probably could use some money, right? That would probably help if your coffers are a little bit fuller, right?
I look at him and then I kind of smile and say, oh, Boren, as someone who's obviously have enough influence to get a meeting with the Lord of Cariele, you're speaking awfully casual to me. Good to see you, Count, is how you greet someone who offered you a private meeting.
Oh, my apologies, but I have dealt with your uncle in the past, and he didn't worry about standing on ceremony too much, you see. He was, well, he and I had what you would call a business arrangement, you see, and so, what would you like? Would you like a bow? What would you like?
Do I look like my uncle, sir?
You see, he kind of gives you a little bit of a grin. I don't know. Would you wish that you did? I'll say whatever you want.
I see. Tell me your proposal then. What is it
Yes,
you'd
of
like
course.
me to hear?
Well, so you see, I'm certain that around Cariele here, you've got people in your prisons, bad people who have done some really nasty things, and well, they're just kind of sitting there and rotting, and you got to feed them and clothe them and help them, like with the medicine and stuff when they get sick. Ugh, that's just a whole lot of waste, isn't it? But what if I told you I would be willing to buy those prisoners off you and take them out of your hair and, well, take a little bit of your prisons a little bit cleared up?
I kind of raise my eyebrow. And what would a young lad of maybe 18 be doing with this many prisoners?
Oh, as I said, I move product from here and there, and, well, there are people with money that can use prisoners for various uses. I find it best, my lord, not to worry too much. As long as the money's in your hand, that's all that matters, right?
I assume what you're asking me is to sell you slaves?
Slaves is such a dirty word. Like I said, I just transport them from one place to the next. No.
I look over at my counsel.
Do you currently have some of these folks that you're transporting around the area here so we can, look at your delivery service a little bit more in detail so we get the fine notes of your service?
You notice he chuckles as you say this. Well, now, we aren't exactly what you would call an established business, right? It's not like shops and things and set up and notes and says law, good, nothing like that. So I can't really show you all that kind of stuff, but I can put coin in your hand pretty quickly. In fact, how does 15 gold per head sound?
Sounds like you're still believing you're talking to my uncle.
What was the nature of your arrangement with the uncle?
Oh, well, nice to see you, lady. Well, you see, the old one, N tier, he would sell some folks to us time and again, and we would put them to good use, and I even got him hooked up with, a very interested buyer who was paying premium coin. But unfortunately, that guy doesn't need more people just now, so I just got the standard fare, 15 gold a head right at the moment.
Next petitioner, my lord.
I look over at Mr. Bourne and I say, unfortunately, we're in no need of such service any longer.
Your choice, your wish, as you wish. But, well, if you do find that you're pinching pennies in the future, ask around for me. One of your people here, I'm sure, can track me down. All right?
And who do you work for, Mr. Hall?
You notice he smiles as he kind of cocks his head. Another dangerous question, my lord. Those are details. You don't want to be getting into those kind of details. But, well, I can see, like you say, you're not your uncle, not interested, so I won't waste any more of your time. But, well, if things change, you just give me a nod, right?
I haven't dismissed you, Bourne.
Oh,
came in
sure.
here.
If you have other questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I just assume because that guy over there with the scruffy beard said all set, you know?
He asked me a question, not you. I asked you a question. I said, who do you work for? And you said it was a dangerous question. Why is it a dangerous question?
Well, business being business, those kind of questions are dangerous because people don't want all their business revealed, right? I mean, if we were in business, it might be a different story. I could tell you some of those details, but we're not in business, like you said, so that's dangerous.
You mean you don't want knowledge of other slave traders getting out, essentially?
Ah, your words, my lord, if that's what you want to call it.
Mr. Bourne, we do not need to sell our prisoners to you for coin, although I appreciate the offer. However, if at any point you'd like to change your mind about your answer to my question, please feel free to return.
You notice he smiles and says, "Oh, okay, I'll do that. All right, am I dismissed, though, now?"
You can bow and then leave.
And you see he does. He does this little bow with that same little smile on his face and gives you a nod. And he looks over back towards the counselor table. He looks towards Blixel and he gives you a little bit of a wink before he walks back towards the door.
I can't
What do
hear
you-
you, Blixo, if you're talking.
I said, I don't like him.
I don't think any of us like him.
Why did he wink at me?
Maybe because he's got dealings with folks that look like you or something? I don't know.
Not really anyone that looks like me, unfortunately.
I didn't appreciate his casualness.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably works for some really bad people that you should, maybe we should get to the bottom of if they're doing this stuff. But
Essentially, he trades slaves. The way he dotted around the subject, it's pretty obvious.
Maybe you should have him watched. Who knows?
Lord Tannen,
Yes, yes. And you see he starts walking slowly so he doesn't have to shout and listen to you carefully. After walking for about 20 seconds, he gets within much easier conversation. And you see he nods. Yes, counselor.
how many prisoners do we have in a moment? Inmates?
I don't have an exact count, but I could certainly get that number for you as an estimate. In all of the provinces of Cariele, probably somewhere around 100.
All right. No need for a specific number. Thank you.
He nods. Are you ready for the next petitioner?
I believe so. That one was a doozy, Tannen.
We get all kinds, my lord, as you see. Yes, in fact, the next one is Mr. Usk, who has since arrived. Are you ready to see him?
Is he still hooded and cloaked?
To an extent, but I can tell you he seems to be a lizard folk, which is probably why he was trying to conceal his identity previously. But we, of course, have claimed his weapons, and he won't bring them in with him.
Sure, we're ready for him.
All right. You notice Tannen turns back towards the door, and some more commotion, and the loud trumpet sound once again, and an announcement. One Mr. Usk from Malavienne. And you notice this figure once again steps through the door. As he does so, you can see almost right away that he is clearly a lizard folk by his attire more than even to see in his face, because he still has his hood up. But he kind of enters the room here and starts walking down this the throne room here, and as he does so, you can see his eyes and his whole like snout here kind of dart back and forth, and you can actually see his tongue actually flickers out of his mouth just ever a little bit as he kind of eyes around the room, these yellow eyes just darting. You see he gets to about 20 feet or so, as similar to the other petitioners, and you see he looks towards you and he says, "Have they told you about what I have mentioned to your staff?"
I'm gonna stand up out of the chair and kind of descend those stairs until I'm standing at the bottom of them. And how far away would that put me from him?
Probably about 15 feet.
I'm gonna kind of like cock my head to the side as he's still got his hood on and say, "Do you feel you must still remain hooded? Have we not made you feel comfortable?"
And you see he kind of just stares at you for a moment, and then you see his clawed hands kind of reach up and pull the hood back a bit, where you notice the sign of like crest and frill, all still that real deep emerald green. And you see then he just stares at you.
We were told I mind you, brief overview of what you were asking, which is why we requested a more private meeting, because it seemed important. So yes, we've heard a little bit, but who are you?
I am Usk. I am a hunter. My tribe is dwelling in your land by the stone mountains.
I see. And your tribe sent you? Or is this...
Yes,
I see.
the stones, the mountains, they come tumbling down, much more than normal. Big rocks have landed in our swamp. We hear the voices. They shout, thunderous shouts from above.
Can you understand the shouts?
I do not speak this language.
Hey, Adam, I got a question for you. There's not dynamite or anything like that in this campaign, is there?
Not dynamite, no.
Hey, gotta ask. You know what I'm saying? It's
Do you know of any other beings that live in that area that might be responsible?
You see he turns and he looks towards you, and his head looks at you, and you get a very strange sensation here, Blixel, like almost like a predator watching you and deciding whether to leap or not. Do you mean in the mountains?
Yeah, where the noises are coming from.
Yes, they are the giants, the Fomorians.
I look over at Celine. Have you heard this word?
Blind check sailing.
I'm working on it.
Come on.
You have
Encyclopedia.
heard of Fomorians before. You know them to be even more dangerous than frost giants, and they are quite fond of launching raids into surrounding lands. But you don't know a ton about them, just maybe a detail you picked up from a book.
I've heard the word before, yes. Um, if true, it's a very serious. It could be a very serious matter. Have they actually come down from the mountains, or are they just throwing things? Does it seem like they're shouting at you or at each other?
I
Have
would
you
guess at each other. They have not come down yet, but it is probably only a matter of time.
and you haven't sent anyone to investigate? Why is that?
The giants are strong. With them together, tribe would have no chance.
I understand that having large boulders thrown in your house would seem threatening. Is there any other evidence that maybe they're singling you out? Or is it just them arguing with each other and you're getting some boulders tossed in your land?
I don't know what it is they plan, but it is never this loud there. That means they are up to something. They are gathering, grouping together.
Then what do you want us to do about it?
Climb the mountain, kill them all.
Why did they send you, Usk?
I am not afraid of your lands.
I see.
And why is it that you guys can't sort of handle this?
tribe is strong, but not strong enough to defeat Fomorians. Too many. Too strong.
How many how many does your tribe number?
And you see he kind of blinks at you a couple of times. We are many, but not enough.
I see, Usk. So you'd have us send some kind of raid of our own into this Fomorian territory, slay a few of these giants to protect your home? Is that
No,
what you're asking?
kill them all. Leave none standing.
I see. And I suggest you and a few of your companions coming along with our group in doing so.
Give me a blind check then. If you need the strength of Usk, I will go with you.
Say we were to do this, would your tribe be willing to swear fealty to the Count?
You see he looks towards you. I don't know what you want. What feel?
Would you
By
be
that he
willing to
means
fight for us,
Fight who?
our
on this.
enemies?
Who are your enemies?
They'll
Would
make
you?
themselves known.
We're trying to
And what
say, would we gain your alliance if needed in the future? What would be in it for us than just rather than to save you from being have rocks thrown at your village? That's a simple
If the
question. Us.
Fomorians come down from the mountains and attack tribe, they will surely come here too. So, you are helping yourself by helping us.
You're correct, Usk. We'll be helping ourselves by also helping you. That's if what you say is true, of course, because you have not put eyes on the problem. You have speculated what you believe to be the issue, but we won't know until we get there, will we? Now,
Heard the shouts and sounds. No question.
let's say we go with you, though. And we do protect your village, because let's say they do come, and you're right, they may do come down that mountain and into our territory, but we have armies, multiple armies that may be able to handle these Fomorians, but you know where they'll go through first? Sounds like they're going to go right through your swamp first. So all I'm asking you, Usk, is can you get your people to agree to helping us in the future, if we need it, when protecting this land from other future potential threats?
We don't make long promises. Don't see eye with most you. But if you ask and it makes sense for us, then we will do what we can.
How about if we do this and help you? You can get us a meeting with whoever amongst your people can. I understand the people before us may have not been able to see eye to eye with your people, but we are not the people before us. You traveled far just to talk to us and ask for our help. Has your people ever done that?
You notice his tongue flickers once again. We only travel when need. Doesn't make sense what you ask, even if get you speak with chieftain. Chieftains go quick. New, stronger chieftain come along. Won't aspire to this deal.
Maybe not. But either way, sounds like a problem we'll need to investigate. So, we'll do just that, Tusk. We'll look into it further.
You see, he kind of eyes you, then looks over towards the counselor table before looking back towards you. I return home. If you need find swamp where I am. Look, your town Vanshin. We are east there.
Safe travels home, Musk.
You see his tongue flickers one more time as he looks back towards you, Blixel, and then turns back and makes his way out.
Man, they are eyeing you, Blix.
Do you dislike elves, Usk?
You're saying this as he's kind of walking out, and you see he looks
Yes.
back and looks towards you, and he says, "Elves taste best of all you."
I'm actually quite bitter.
You see the reptilian flesh around his mouth actually like bends back a little bit, and you can see these really sharp teeth, and you see just kind of like, you almost get the impression of like a grin, but you're not sure that's what he's intending or not. But then he just turns and continues walking out.
Someone finally likes me.
It's because he wants to eat you, bro.
Yeah, you take what you can get.
I'll turn around and go back up and sit down in the chair.
22 NPCs later, and here you go.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely worth us looking into. If these Fomorians are in the mountains and they're planning some kind of raid, we don't want them coming down our side.
I'm not sure about his logic there. Him saying because they will hurt their village that they'll continue on to the main settlements. I don't know if that's true or not.
It might embolden them if they have one success. They might have more, but he did say they do. From what I've read, they're stronger than frost giants. So, well, according to what the dungeon master said. So, uh, the 6 of us plus 1 lizard folk, he was concerned that his entire tribe couldn't take them on. This might be more of a militaristic thing, though I don't know how we would get an army up into the mountains.
Well, we would at first need to at least put eyes on the problem, because it sounds like that's the first issue. No one's actually seen whether or not these are giants or, I mean, who possibly could know? Could be, what are those really fat ogres called? Orgons? What are they?
I'm not
I
sure.
don't know what you're referring to.
But, I mean, I think defeating a bunch of giants is a good story.
Celine,
Yes.
did you put a sign on one of the doors that said library?
We haven't tended to that issue yet, to my great disappointment.
And do we have one?
Do we?
You haven't
Yeah, I
seen
think
any kind of official library yet. You assume there's one in the capital, but there certainly doesn't seem to be like a notable one in the castle.
I only mention it because motivations seem to be important in these things. How do we know? I mean, do giants, are they reclusive anyway? Do they desire to take over the world as Usk would assume?
I would imagine it varies based on region, culture, tribes. I don't think all giants are the same, but um, it does sound like from his description, it does seem like a gathering is happening. If it was normal for them to be raucous and throwing rocks all over the time, it wouldn't be an issue worth bringing to the capital. So something has changed in that area for sure.
Hmm.
Well, there's that other dwarf that wants to investigate those tunnels, so perhaps we could kill two birds in one stone. We could put eyes on this problem, and then we could also investigate whatever those tunnels are.
Assuming, of course, that these things are close enough together to do that. But I suppose when in Rome, right, it would at least shorten the trip if we had to make a detour. Yes.
And our people had to go through Vanshan, so perhaps going down there and seeing how they fared would be nice.
It's true.
I wonder if Moriad has had any issues with these giants.
Well, it sounds like they're on our side.
Yeah. But that doesn't answer my question. I just wonder.
I volunteered to go check it out if we need to.
Yes, I let Lord Tannen know that I'll need a suitable, I guess you could say, adventurer to replace me while you guys go and look into some of these problems.
Wait, we're going?
Well,
Haven't you ever wanted to kill a giant?
I'm
No,
in.
I don't want to kill anything.
Oh.
I think it's necessary, and for two reasons. Like I said, the first being those tunnels may potentially be close, and so we could investigate that. Also, I'm still curious about that Brecht who said they found a secret pass through these Stone Crown Mountains. I mean, if that's true, then how did they get around these Fomorians? Wouldn't it
An
seems like a lot
excellent,
is going on in that
an
same area,
excellent
It's a big
question,
mountain
my
range.
liege.
and a lot of activity in it.
Should we hear from the tunnel person next?
Well, I think they're in some kind of order that
Well,
we don't want
disrupt the
to.
order.
We're going to
We're going to hear all of them today. The order at which we hear them is not going to matter, but all I'm saying is that it has my vote for investigating further.
Yeah. All right. Me too.
Me at 3.
Of course, we'll need Saline to go because who else is going to identify everything?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Learn exactly the ways in which the giants want to kill and dismember us all.
Perfect. And we'll know how to counter them. And we'll need Tavard because, well, dwarfs and mountains,
I love the idea of going into a mountain. This fresh air is getting to me.
And
All right,
Dean, as chief
who's
counselor, you're going to go too, right?
I think Chance favors are prepared. Would love to. First, maybe Celine would be willing to get a bit more deeper history of the area. Maybe there's some history books that maybe she hasn't read, and maybe you can look into it before we seem to be so brusque.
Sounds good, and it'll give me time to find someone to send in my stead. Perfect. And I'll kind of clap, and I'll do like a little twirl and sit in my chair. We're killing this today, guys. I'm ready for the next.
Clearly.
All right. You call forth to Lord Tannen, letting them know you're ready for the next petitioner, the private meeting petitioner. He gives you a nod. Once again, this whole ceremony goes by, and the name announced this time is Leo Roundtree. As this name is called out, you notice a younger man, probably in his 20s, you assume. He is dressed fairly plainly, so think of this more like merchant style clothes, not quite as low as peasants or traders or porters, that kind of thing, but certainly not nobility, like aristocratic. He looks like a traveler, essentially. You notice he enters, and he gives this elaborate sweeping bow that takes in his hand as well. And then when he stands up from the bow, he holds his hand up above him and then lowers it and smiles at you.
Do I recognize this greeting?
Nothing specific, no.
All right, Mr. Leo Roundtree. What can we do for you today?
Greetings, my lord. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I must tell you that I heard of your endeavors here and how you recently came to your throne, and I must congratulate you on your amazing planning and your expert way of vision of being able to see exactly how things were going to go and making your plans come true. It takes a person with good planning and vision to really bring everything together. I'm sure you would agree.
Kind of smirk. You know, I lost my twin brother en route to get in this chair here. Did you know that, Mr. Roundtree?
I did not, my lord, but I must say, this world is just one world, and of course, when we leave this world, we go to the perfect ever after. If your brother was such a person as you, I am sure he is there now, doing all the things he always enjoyed in life, and surrounded by all the things of beauty that he loved.
I see. Well, now that you've buttered our biscuits, what can we do for you?
Well, as a new regent in this area, I am sure you have already had to deal with so much trouble on your plate, and the truth is, while you have friends around you and you have your guards, there comes a time where you're on your own. It may be something as sinister as somebody trying to harm you, or it may be faraway magical people using spells and things, but there's always going to be times where you need that extra little boost. You need something that sets you above other men, more above than you already are now, that extra edge, of course. Well, I must tell you, my lord, I happen to have that extra edge upon me now, and I would be willing to sell it to you for the very reasonable price of 6,000 gold. And I know what you're thinking. What must this be, this potent thing that I'm speaking of? Let me show you. You see he reaches into this backpack on his back, and he
I
pulls
stand up.
Okay, you stand up. You see he pulls out this cloak. It's kind of all, folded up and really well, like, divided and things. And you see he flourishes it and shakes it out a bit, and he says, "Beautiful, isn't it?"
I mean, look beautiful at him, or is it just like a normal cloak?
It doesn't look super impressive as you're looking at it. It looks like a decent cloak, but you don't see anything that looks particularly significant.
Um, does that cloak give you some kind of secret ability?
It does indeed. Great eyes, my lord. You can tell quality and true power just on sight. You see, and you see he kind of turns it around for you. You notice the outside is much darker than the inside of this cloak. It has a sort of a hide look to it. And you see he smiles as he's like showing this to you. With this, you would be more powerful than many of your peers around you. And more importantly, of course, anybody that should come to try to defeat you, this would give you an edge unlike any other.
You know, you gave that a lot of adjectives, but you never explained what it does.
Oh, I would be very honored to tell you the details of this item. I can see you are quite interested, and why wouldn't you be? This kind of thing is something you can't find just anywhere. You see, when you put this cloak upon yourselves, you can actually change your shape, my lord. You can turn into a fearsome hound. Very powerful indeed. In fact, think of yourself. You're hurt. You've been attacked. What are you going to do? You turn into a fearsome hound and you bite that creature's face off, right? That's what this can do for you.
So, this cloak turns me into a wolf.
Oh, no, my lord. Nothing so mundane. Have you ever heard of and you see he raises one hand that's not on the cloak right now, and he kind of shakes it. You get the jazz hand kind of impression. Hellhound.
I see. I see. I look over at my counselor's table. I think everyone sitting at that table would agree with me that spending that kind of money on something like that is unnecessary. You see, I kind of already have something along those lines.
I'm his hound.
Oh, but you
How did
see,
you-
my lord, how do you know that he will always be with you when you need him? It's not like you can just strap this dwarf on your back and take him everywhere you go.
Unfortunately.
Where did you acquire this cloak, sir?
That is a great question, my good friend. Good friend. Yes. Oh, I came upon this. See, I am a trader. I buy and sell things that I know that I can turn a profit on. As of course, money is what drives our whole land here. In fact, I acquired this just recently. I purchased it for a small fee, lower than what I'm charging you, of course. But every man's got to make coin, right?
You just found a random traveling salesman selling this thing, or where did you get it from?
I am part of a network of traders, my friend. We have different connections. We can put words in, and I usually have a way of saying what is new, what's on the block, what is there for a purchase. And then I sift through all these things, anything that could be of interest, and I discard all of the chaff, the stuff that's not important. But then I find that wheat, that one beautiful golden item, and this is it.
I'm
Can
gonna
you
walk.
demonstrate it?
I could, but unfortunately, binding to an item like this, you have to really connect to it. You have to like take it with you and focus on it. And I don't want to do that because I wanted that to be the honor of the next buyer.
I'm gonna walk up and next in front of him and motion my hand if I can touch it.
Yes, please, my friend, you may touch it.
I am Chief Counsel Dean.
Chief
Cat
Counselor, how ostentatious! What an amazing title.
Thank you. So I'm gonna inspect it, and then I'm gonna ask him, how do you know this does what it says? Did
Go ahead and
do
give me a
you?
blind check for your inspection. And as you're asking this question, you see his eyes light up with a smile. I saw it being used by the seller. He demonstrated its exact functionality. Oh, it was terrifying when he turned into the beast. As you're feeling this, it feels actually like real hide, Dean. Like it has a coarse touch to it, and there's a little bit of an odor associated with it. You get a hint of almost like brimstone.
Take a deep smell, and I put it back in his hands. And I'll walk back and I'll say, so this item might not be exactly what we're looking for, but if you're in the market of other items and you come across them, I would say you're more than welcome to present it to us.
Oh, but, Chief Counselor, surely you would want your lord to be protected, and what could do a better job than this? And at the very low price of 6,000 gold, you are not going to find a deal like that anywhere else, Chief Counselor.
Yes. Thank you. That's all the questions I have, and I'll have a seat.
You notice his smile never changes as he turns and now looks towards Vin.
He's going for the closing, Vin.
Serena, do you say that out loud?
Yes. Just like quietly.
I look at him and I say, unfortunately, like I said, we are not in need of a particular item of this type, but Chief Counselor does bring up a good point. If you're part of this network of traders, then in the future, perhaps you could bring us items that would probably fit what we're looking for better.
That is very disappointing, my lord. If something in the future does happen, then I will keep your offer in mind. But I must say, I don't make it out to these parts very often. So unless there's money to pull me here, you understand, I have to go where coins can be made. So unless you want to pay some kind of advance fee or something, I'm afraid I probably won't be back in this area for quite some time.
That's unfortunate, but our court does not provide any kind of deposits upon anything that we cannot get any guarantee upon back. So we wish you safe travels, and I hope you don't really peddle any items that could cause any danger to our lands, within our lands, please.
He gives you a nod. I understand. Yes, of course. Safety and safety, of course. Well, thank you for your time then, and I wish you all the best in ruling Cariele. I shall take my leave. And you see he gives you a bow.
Kind of nod his way.
All right. Yeah, he makes his way out.
We can't spend 3 bars on that thing.
Yeah, especially since Dean can summon a fucking fire wolf and we have a pet bear.
He's a lion. His name's Fork.
And you know what I mean.
All right. Should we see the next one?
Let's do it.
Okay, you alert Lord Tannen that you're ready for the next individual. Same ceremony once again. And then you notice a younger man, perhaps in his 30s maybe, as he enters the room. You notice that he is dressed in this kind of tiny little bow tie, and he's dressed very, what you would say, studiously. He enters the room and kind of moves a little bit. You get the impression almost of someone with very little confidence, like he's really worried about every step that he is taking, and his head kind of slowly on a swivel as he's taking in the whole room. As he gets to the spot where all the petitioners are, you notice he looks towards the council. Greetings, all of you. Greetings, all of you, and you, of course, as he turns them in. You, my lord. Greetings.
Did we get his name with the trumpeter had him?
Yes, it was Edmund Caskbow.
Ah, the worrisome doctor.
You gotta rock the cast bow.
Hello, greetings,
Oh,
sir.
nice. He looks back towards you and nods. Yeah, yes, greetings to you as well. Greetings.
What brings you before the new council?
I'm afraid it's bad. It's really bad. I don't know how much you know about me. I'm a doctor, and you see what I do is I try to help the illnesses, the illnesses in the city here. And unfortunately, these illnesses they kind of spread. They spread, and that means more people get sick from the first sick person, and then more, and then when they're sick, then there's more sick, and then there's more sick, and unfortunately, there is a really bad illness, an illness that is just everywhere. It's very bad, and it's in the slums right now here in Carolinian, but it's going a bit stranger and farther, and I hope that you won't wait until it's here at your gates before you actually take action.
Illness should be treated with faith. You know that.
Well, of course, the clerics, the clerics can help when they use their magic, but this illness it's spreading. It's spreading to many people, so that means there's not enough magic. They don't have the magic to take care of everyone.
What's the nature of this illness? Like, symptoms, causes? How much do you know about it?
It's very bad. It's quite bad. You see, what it does, it makes you very tired, no energy. You're very lethargic. You can't really move around. You just kind of sit. You just sit there. It gets worse and worse, and you get to the point where you won't even get up to get water. You won't drink. You won't get water. You just kind of stay, and you won't eat food. You don't eat anything, and you just slowly succumb to it. You literally wither away. You wither away to nothing.
Do you have a solution to this issue that we could help you with?
There's no perfect solutions, but I have some ideas. Unfortunately, these kind of things they cost money. Of course, they cost money. But if we can get some additional supplies, and I think making sure that anybody that's really sick, really sick, we need a spot where we can put them, like a quarantine, a building that only those people go, and it's got to be a big building, because there's already a lot of people that have this. But if we could keep them all in that one spot and treat them as best we can, we need people who bring them food and water, food and water, so they're forced to eat. We make sure, and then hopefully they get better over time, and maybe we can ration that magic from the clerics. But you would have to ask them. You'd have to ask them, because they don't just give that magic away for free. But maybe you can make a deal with them, like talk with them, make a deal with them, and make sure that they understand how important this is, and ask them to send some people that can use that kind of magic to cure this, to cure this illness, and they would be there watching with the doctors.
Sounds like a band-aid for cancer.
Do you have an exact count on how many people are sick currently with this illness?
Yes. I'm close. Yes, close. You see, he pulls a little piece of scrap parchment out of his side pocket here. Let's see. From this morning, this number is from this morning. We're looking at 73 people. 73 people.
All in the slums.
Yes, in the slums. In the slums here in Cariele, in the slums.
So it's contained. Well,
For now, but it spreads. You see, it spreads, and it's going to go far.
How does it spread?
It depends. Right now, I think based on my test, it's from the liquid in the mouth, the spit, the saliva in the mouth.
You think a bunch of these people are going to be coming to the giveaway today?
If they're only a little bit sick, just a little bit sick, then maybe, yes.
It's
Well,
disturbing.
I think with something like this, it's probably better to stop it before it gets too out of control. So, would a couple squads of guards sort of canvassing and figuring out who the sick people are and bringing them someplace work?
That would help. That would certainly help. But really, we need the building for the quarantine. For the quarantine, the building.
Well, you're not having the castle. That's what you're asking.
Well, we don't have time to just build a building for you, right? You understand that would take a month or two, and by that time, I'm sure that number would double or triple of sick individuals, which we can't have. So, do you have any suggestions, Doctor, for buildings that we could already use?
Yes, I do. There's warehouses in the slums. They stock a bunch of things, supplies and things, and they stock those stuff there. And if we could just have them move all that stock out of the warehouse, and then we could put the people in there, all the sick people in there, that would work. It's big.
Who exactly owns this warehouse?
Well, it's part of the guild that stores things. They store things in there.
Dylan, as a player, was hoping you weren't going to say that.
Jordan, as a player, knew he was going to say exactly.
I was about to say that was my next sentence, but I also knew that's where it was going. Then kind of sighs and says, "Okay. Well, how many people have you treated for this, and have you gotten a way to treat them other than just quarantining them and giving them food and water?"
That's it. That's the only thing that seems to work, is just make sure they don't spread it. They don't spread it in food and water, so they don't wither away.
And what about the source again? Did you track it down where it's coming from? You said
No.
they're getting sick from what? The
I
water?
don't know. I don't know where it started. I don't know where it started. I've been working all of the time, every day, all day, sun up, sun down. I have no time. No time. This is everything.
Maybe we could do an assessment of the city and find out if there are any large areas that are not under guild control that we could have the quarantine in.
I'm gonna call down to Tannen.
And you notice once again, he approaches, and yes, my lord.
Tannen, do you know of any large buildings, warehouses, or anything owned by any merchants or any noble families that we could borrow or use to quarantine a few people who are sick to lessen the impact it has on the city.
A few people?
Less than 100.
Oh, I see. Not offhand, my lord, but I can certainly put the word out and see what we have that might be of use.
And how likely would a... Sorry, I choked on my water.
Usually that's the solution to choking is drinking water.
Hang on. What would you say? Sorry, goodness. It's like that one time I choked on that Mike and Ike back in Baldur's Gate. I'll look at him and say, and if we wanted this warehouse that was owned by the guild to remove their stock, how likely would that happen?
It's possible, my lord, but it, of course, would require paying a fee, and they would likely want to charge you a pretty hefty fee.
Ballpark estimate, Tannen?
Honestly, my lord, I wouldn't even know where to start. It's such an unusual request, but keeping in mind how much money the guild brings in, I would have to assume it's somewhere in the realm of a quarter of a gold bar or more, maybe significantly more.
And a mass infection is going to be bad for the guild, too.
Yeah, maybe we can ask around, like talk to the church and stuff now that, the church wants you to become a member and all, and maybe somebody may be able to help out with some of this, all for the good of the people and all.
Indeed. Alright, well, Doctor, look, what we'll do is we'll find a suitable place for you to quarantine these individuals. We'll take care of the details on that, but right now, I have another question for you. You seem exhausted and overworked. Do you have other doctors that work in the city? Are you the only physician?
There are some, yeah, there are some, but most don't work in the slums. They work around here, my lord. They just spend their time around here taking care of people that can afford to pay them. Nobody seems to really care about the slums, but yes, that's where I work in the slums.
And if I were to get a few of these other doctors to come and help you, would that allow you some time to see if you could track down the source of this illness?
Yes, it would help. It would help.
I'll see what I can do for you. And look, I'll be honest with you. Do you mind?
You see, he looks at you a bit confused.
Do you? Do you mind if I'm honest with you?
No, I don't mind.
Yes, never be on. No.
The reputation you have is one of someone who is worrisome, anxious, maybe a bit of a worrywart, that sometimes you pester people with problems that you find. I don't want that to become our relationship, Mr. Caspo. The people of this city and their well-being is important, from the slums to the riches. You are correct. But at the same time, we do not need you crying wolf. Do you understand?
I'm just trying to help the people in the slums. The people in the slums, nobody seems to care about them. But why is it that such a big deal to want to care for the poor people? The poor people need someone to care for them.
I'm telling you that in my eyes that it's not. But I'm only telling you that your reputation precedes you about someone who worries about things that are not important. If those non important things are just the people, then so be it. You have my support. But please don't bring to me any problems that you could solve on your own. You understand?
You see, he kind of looks at you and blinks a couple times. Yes, I understand.
Good. We'll help you with this one. Alright, we'll see what we can do. We'll let you know if we find a suitable place. We'll have Tannen here check in with a few people that may owe us a favor or that we can owe a favor to in the future. And at last resort, we'll rent out that warehouse for you. Either way, we'll get you the space you need, and we'll see if we can pay a couple of doctors to go down and help you also.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll look at the council. Agreed?
I think what may be helpful, maybe I'll just kind of whisper this to you so the doctor can't hear, is maybe if we have some concerns that maybe this is an overreaction, maybe pay a couple doctors if that's what it takes to go down there for a day just to assess the patients that's already there, and then we can get a better idea on how much further you need to pay, or ask for support.
It's called getting a second opinion.
Yeah, that's
And a
what
third.
I'll whisper back to Tavard. That's why I wanted some other doctors that we pay to go and check, because maybe they can,
But that was third on your list.
confirm or deny. While at the same time, we could potentially find a place to rent out for the people who are sick, anyways.
Good idea. Fully support.
A just decision, my liege.
All right, I'll slap the table and say, "All right, Mr. Casco, you're dismissed. Get back to work."
He hurriedly exits. And I know we are out of time here, guys, but I'm going to do this one last petitioner super quickly because this may inform what you guys decide to do next session. So you've already got plenty of things to potentially follow up next session, but your next private meeting request individual here, and I'm just double checking. Yeah, there's only 2 left, so the next one that enters, just quickly giving you some details here, is one John Serpentwind. He lets you know that he is a magician. And as you guys remember from this world, magicians are essentially spellcasters that are not elvish blood, and they don't have a bloodline, so their magic is somewhat limited. It's powerful in a couple of areas and then fairly weak in others. But what he lays before you is that he has become into possession of a treasure map that leads to an underground ruins in northwestern Melivian. And he really wants to find a group to go with him, whether that's people who are hired by you, mercenaries, or perhaps yourselves, and travel with him to this area to search through these underground ruins and try to recover what this treasure map lists, which, seeming that Mr. Serpentwind here is really interested in it, is related to harnessing magic.
Nice. Adventures left and right, guys.
So
I changed my mind. Let's do that.
what I'm trying to do here is, because we've had like 3 or 4 sessions of very council focused kind of stuff now, I want to try to mix it up because I know, getting a good variety is always good for campaigns. So with that in mind, you guys have a few different things on your plate. Is there any of these quote unquote adventure hooks that have interested you guys that you want to follow up on?
Yep.
Yeah, I like all
Kill
of
the
them. Let's do all of
giants
them.
or do the treasure map.
Yeah, I'm cool. I'm with Blake, so let's do them both.
All right. So again, you guys get to pick. There's those 2. And then I think there was, let's see, yeah, so we'll just stick with those 2 for now because those are the ones that you've got the most information on. Yeah, so is there one of those that you guys are more or less interested in that you'd like to follow up on next session?
I think obviously the giant one is important, but I think the other one, a treasure map, as we're trying to find money and increase our wealth, that may be something we should look into, because if there's things that we can turn into wealth, then we should do our best to get those things.
Okay, any disagreements on the team, or is everybody in agreement to take Mr. Serpentwind up on his offer and travel with him to northwestern Melivian, which is not all that far from where you are now, probably a few hours of travel or slightly longer, but definitely still within Cariele, and easily get travel there within a day of Cariele at least.
So what I would say is, for an example, the one with the Tritons and everything is not really an adventure, but obviously I think that guy said he's only going to be here for a week. So I think maybe discuss that one on Discord, try to resolve that before we go on this quest here or something. And if there's any other ones that we can, just kind of help manage or something. I just don't want to come back and all of a sudden not. I mean, I do want to go on the adventure. Don't get me wrong, but I'd hate to go ahead and have all these leftover things that maybe wouldn't take too much time to resolve, if that is possible.
Absolutely, yeah. If you guys want to discuss amongst yourselves on Discord and figure out how you want to handle some of these ones that have been laid before you so far, then yeah, you could definitely do that. We can do like a recap at the beginning of the next session of your actions that you're taking for those. Keeping in mind again that this particular adventure, at least in this situation, again, if it's a day's travel from Carolinian, if you're there a day and back in a day, even if you say maybe there's a day overlap or something, you'd be back in 3 days. So you don't think anything's gonna majorly fall apart in that short period of time.
Have you ever been on adventures when TPK? I mean, I'm just throwing that
That
out.
is true, yeah. But if you TPK, I think the trash in the river is probably the least of your concerns at that point.
Yeah. In regards to that, Adam, in terms of us, kind of making this decision, I assume next session though we still have to finish off these petitioners, right?
I mean, you certainly can, and we can go through what is left in your private meeting requests and then the other petitioners. And then if we assume you guys spend probably part of the session doing that and then departing on the adventure, I'd be good with that if that works for you guys.
Sure.
All right, hearing no disagreements, and I will assume that you guys are good with that. So, yeah, next session we will continue with the petitioner list, and I will try time-wise for that not to take any longer than the first half of our session, and then we will focus on the rest of our session traveling to this adventure location with Mr. John Serpentwind. All right, guys, appreciate that
Excellent.
quick little after session to make sure we're prepared for what we're going to do next week. So hope you guys enjoyed this session. We will continue next week with those plans. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Sounds
Word,
good.
you too.
Enjoy your week, folks. See ya.